Hi, welcome back to Damsels in Dicestress. Or not, because you probably haven't seen a previous episode. If you haven't... Everyone's looking at me badly. Yeah. If you haven't seen a previous episode, go and check them out on YouTube. Otherwise, enjoy. Boo, 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 boo. Make people appear. It's very clunky.
Is this our title sequence?
No, it's not. No, that's just you going woo to everybody.
Sorry.
So last week we had lots of technical difficulties. We won't repeat that this week.
We'll try our best.
Cool. Awkwardness.
Well, we need to do a recap.
Yeah, we need to recap what happened.
Sure, recap us, someone. Who wants to go? Who wants to do it? Who's in charge?
The DM.
I don't have to do it. Anyone can do it if they want.
Okay, well, what happened was we started off by going to Stone to see your house and pick up some supplies.
Mm-hmm.
We found another letter similar to the one my dad left.
Mm-hmm.
Your steward, Jonathan, was there. He made us lunch. He had a very stern talking to with me.
I have a sword.
You got a sword and a big medieval book from a safe and some coded journals that are potentially your dead mother's, but we don't know. Yeah. What else happened at Stone? I feel like... You
did run away from home. That's the first thing. You ran away from home.
You confirmed that you were going to marry Colin, and Jonathan's coming to London tomorrow to, talk to his family about that.
Yep.
And then we ran away to Sevenlock, to your house, where it was really scary, and we all rolled absolute shit, and everything went very wrong. Luckily, we weren't caught by your mother.
You got guns?
Got guns, got some
You broke a
bullets.
window.
You've been blinded.
Yeah.
So the episode ended with me blind for 6 hours on Kalia's horse.
While we rode to
London.
And we have arrived.
Oh, and we never found a letter from your dad.
No.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Yeah.
What's I don't know, what's a fun fact about everyone's characters?
Oh, I'm
I
really
always
not
forget
prepared for
this.
this now.
Right, you got to make it up now. Go.
Oh, shit.
When I was
Moving.
7, I used to see how far up a tree I could climb
Yeah.
before somebody would be like, no, you have to get down now, it's too scary.
I would just stand and watch. I would just be under the tree, this is fine.
You weren't running off to tell somebody.
No.
Time's climbing the
Not when I was
tree.
7.
I
Okay, my fun fact is Rosalind was nicer when she was a child.
don't know. I guess I watched from my bedroom.
Yeah, you did.
We wrote it to you in letters.
Yeah. It's like, Taya got really far today.
Charlie was allowed outside. You should try it sometime.
Brutal.
Alright.
Brutal.
I quit.
Fun fact about Georgiana.
Yes.
Fun fact about Georgiana.
Is there anything fun about Georgiana?
She is the life of the party.
Is
She's
she?
so much fun. Fun fact about Georgiana. There's just so many. Which one do I pick? Probably is her fingernails are always slightly dirty.
Oh.
Yeah.
From the gardens.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You right there?
Okay.
Dimmable.
Dimmable.
Wow. In jokes at the table. So good. Actually, no, that was in the first episode.
Yeah.
I didn't cut that out, did I?
No.
I left that in because you guys look stupid.
Wow.
Alright.
Yeah. Half left, actually. Dad jokes. Anyway.
Shall we play?
Yeah.
Why not? Should we do an intro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Nice. Now there's an intro. And we're back. Okay. So yeah, we left off with the sun slowly rising on a grey, blue, early morning. The sound of birds, the sounds of horses' feet on the gravel road, and the view of a dark London on the horizon. On the horizon. La la la. Yeah.
So, how long have I been able to see again for?
At this point, probably about 2 hours.
Okay.
You've seen the sun. Well, the sun hasn't risen yet. The light is coming. Yeah. So you're traveling along in the dark, and that's slowly changing to day. Everyone has a level of exhaustion, which means basically all your rolls are at disadvantage. So all ability and skill checks.
Is there a way of putting that on here? There's not.
Yes.
Oh, is there?
Somewhere top right, somewhere.
Is it conditions?
Conditions?
Yeah, probably.
I'd love it if
Oh
it
yeah,
worked.
exhaustion.
Where?
At the bottom here.
Oh,
What
1 point
level?
exhaustion.
Yeah, what level?
Mine's just
One.
not doing anything. Bruh.
Cool.
Cool.
Probably just had to click somewhere else.
I've just reloaded it.
For like all of our rolls.
Basically,
Until we get some sleep.
you just on ability checks, just for now.
Okay.
Yeah, until you've had a full night's rest. And Agatha, I'm going to need you to roll a d20.
Why?
Because I asked you to.
Okay.
Oh.
8.
Okay, cool.
What the fuck?
Don't look at me like that. I'm just the DM.
Oh, do I need disadvantage for it?
Yes, actually.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Shit, why did I say that?
Don't know.
Thanks, that's a good idea.
Okay, still 8 then. That was
Cool.
11.
Cool.
From here, I can only see one of the ones, and I was like, oh my god.
No.
Agatha just dies on the road.
8.
So technically it's -1, but that's fine. You rolled high enough anyway. Okay. So as you're travelling along on the road, there's the quiet sound of your horse's footsteps. There's the sounds of, you're travelling along. Birds are starting to call out. You can hear a few dogs barking. Sounds of crickets and whatnot are fading as they go to sleep, I suppose. I don't know what crickets do. They're noisy at night and they're not in the day.
No, they're noisy during the day. Believe me.
I don't know anything about crickets. Grasshoppers. Okay, so as you're making your way along, you pass through a small hamlet. There are a few torches out. There doesn't seem to be anyone awake, just sort of...
So we're getting into London now.
Yes.
Or is this
You're
like
currently-
outlying
Yeah, you're
bits?
a hamlet. It's like a small...
A hamlet's like a
Smaller than a village.
Smaller
Yeah.
than a village.
It's basically a village. You're going through a very small village.
Okay.
Mhm. You're travelling through.
Okay, so I have not brought up the fact that I can see again to anyone yet. So I, as we all probably are, am incredibly exhausted. Like I've not slept. But at some point during the night, I did kind of relax, and I was sort of drifting in and out of consciousness, but I didn't sleep. And yeah, I'm just sort of adjusting to the light and to seeing things, and the shapes are sort of have come into view. And I would like to do an insight check on Talia and what she's picking up from me, if she can tell that I have got my sight back.
Okay, sure. Roll insight with disadvantage.
I've got a disadvantage on everything. Well, that's a 2.
Cool.
You know nothing.
Okay.
I want to know if I am aware when she started being able to see again. 5.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been kind of similarly drifting in and out of sleep, but trying to stay awake because I am manning a horse right now. But yeah, I do keep feeling my eyes kind of like droop and then like having to like jerk myself awake.
Make excuse me. Make an
point
animal
attention.
handling check with
Oh.
disadvantage.
Oh.
1.
Yeah, your horse becomes quite disorientated and confused by the sort of the movements that you're doing as you're sort of in and out of the saddle, and he starts to sort of just come to a stop and turns his head back to look at you.
And the horse that's attached behind also stops.
There's a
Rosalind's
my
horse
horse
is
is
attached to
by a
Agatha's
ribbon
horse.
attached to
I
Agatha's
thought it
horse.
was attached to your horse.
No.
No, it's attached to mine.
Yeah, they both stop.
Okay. I kind of just sit there for a bit, not really comprehending what's happening.
Do I notice that the horse has stopped?
You were in
Have
the
you
lead,
eyes?
right?
Yes.
I feel like Agatha was in the lead. Okay, Agatha's going to do it this way. Cool. Yeah, so you then catch up to her.
Okay. I'll stop the horse. Why? You stopped.
Yeah. No, professional.
Why?
Yes. I do not know.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay.
So I tap my horse or whatever I do to make it start moving again.
Cool. Yeah, starts moving again.
Yeah. That was so unprofessional, sorry.
Does anybody know where we're going now?
Into London. I
Agatha had
suppose.
the map.
Oh, yes. So I go into my bag, pull out the map that we had, I pull it out.
It's too dark to read. So
I cannot see anything, so I put it back in.
Perhaps we just carry on down this road until we start to see signs or something.
I suppose we'll see people heading towards the city, won't we?
okay, you carry on. So you leave this village. About half an hour later, buildings start to reappear and build up again. As you're walking down, it's still quite a main road that you're on. To the left, a sort of older buildings in reasonable condition. A lot of lights, a lot of sounds still coming from various houses. It's almost a sort of party atmosphere coming from some of the larger ones. On the right is much darker. You can kind of make out a lot of sort of dilapidated wooden buildings that are kind of built sort of haphazardly against each other, making use of clearly whatever materials are around and stuff. And it's fairly dark. You can hear a few noises come from there. You can hear movements. You can hear some wheels. You can hear the sounds of feet on sort of squelchy mud, that sort of stuff. And yeah, you carry on through this area, I guess. Stop me whenever you want.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll just keep
At
describing.
at this point, I'm gonna sort of turn as much as I can, like back to Talia, and just look at you so you can see that I can see you. I think I better get back on my own horse now.
Of course. I slow the horse. get down. Help you down. Help you back show the horse, I guess.
Thank you.
Of course. Help you up onto your horse, untie the ribbons, fold them back up, hand them back to you. Get back onto my horse.
Cool. Make perception checks with disadvantage.
All of us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
3.
5.
15. I got a nat 20.
I got a 5 and a 6.
Cool. As you get back on your horses and start moving along, Agatha, you notice a couple of men with lanterns coming around a corner out of the from your left, from the buildings on the left around the road. Maybe 2 blocks away in front of you, and they start walking towards you. You don't know if they've seen you or not.
Yeah. There are some people in front of us with lanterns.
Perhaps they could give us directions?
Yes, perhaps.
I suppose.
Yes, alright then.
Cool. Are you moving ahead?
Yeah, keep going.
Cool. Yep. At some point you realise they must have heard the sound of your horses as the sort of lanterns twist to point in your direction and sort of light you up. And they start moving towards you in a more direct manner. Okay, yeah. They notice you start moving towards you. And these lanterns sort of rise up in the air as they're trying to hold them up to get a better look at you. Who goes there?
Oh, simple travellers. We're on our way to visit family in London.
These 2 men, the lights get quite close to you now. They can shine up, see in their faces. The lantern sort of moves around between the 3 of you. What are 3 ladies like you doing out at a time like this?
Well, you see, as I said, we are to visit family in London, and we were called on quite urgent business.
Right, okay. I mean,
It was necessary to ride through the night.
I see. Well, do be careful. Would you like an escort? Where are you heading?
Well, if you could take us into the city, we would be very grateful.
They look at each other and like, oh, how far into the city are you heading? We're on our rounds here at Liston Green. We do our rounds here for security. But
Park Lane was the destination in mind, but if you could only escort us as part of the way, that would be
It's not
completely
far. It's
understandable.
not far actually. So
Really?
yeah. Park Lane's just at the end of this road, so we could walk you to the end of the road.
Oh, what wonderful! Thank you. Thank you.
No, not a problem. You girls look exhausted, if you don't mind me saying so.
It has been a tiring night.
Oh, totally agree. Well, how about you follow us then, and we'll keep you girls safe.
Thank you.
You were
Not a
very
problem.
kind.
Not a problem. And they start leading your horses along the road.
What's in Park Lane?
Well, we need somewhere to stay and somebody to look out for us. Well, you had not expected that I had planned to go to London with absolutely nothing.
I'm just asking who we're going to.
The Viscount Sellingham. His residence is in London, and I am sure we can trust him to be discreet, and it will be a safe place for us to go.
Very well.
Oh, we could hardly stay in a hotel or anywhere word might get back. I assure you he will be very welcoming to us.
Yes.
Clippity clop. Not much further now. This is the arts district, you know. Quite a lot of famous people. Byron, he lived in this house.
Oh, wonderful.
Had quite a few parties. We'd often be breaking up some of the riffraff. And over to the right there, that's Tomlin's town. Don't tend to go in there. It's a bit of we don't tend to head that way. He stopped talking. Not much longer.
Thank you.
First time in London?
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, it's an interesting place. I think you'll enjoy it.
I hope so.
What sort of business brought you here, so to speak?
Just family business.
Yes, it's a family emergency, and we needed to be together.
Oh, well, I do hope everything works out for you.
Thank you. I am sure we will find what we are looking for.
Right, well, our sun's coming up. Look at that. It's lighting up the park. Lovely. So that's Hyde Park. That is. Is it? Yeah, it is. That's where Park Lane gets its name from. And if you cross over here, at this crossroads, that's Park Lane. Did you say which number?
What number is it? I would know.
4.
4. Number 4.
Oh, well, then we're basically here. It's that one just over there.
Oh.
And he points to, the 4th house, obviously on the road. Very large manor set off a sort of front gardens that are gated with these black iron fencing. And as this sort of golden sunlight is hitting the front facade of this white manor house, it's kind of hitting it with a sort of orange goldeny glow. There are a number of small pruned trees in the front. You can see a lot of flowers there. Probably it's 4 stories high. There's about 8 windows on each level, I guess. It's very large. Big double doors, up about 5 stone steps. And that's about what you can make out from this distance, which isn't too far. Well, shall we, we'll lead you right up there. If it's just right there, it's no problem. So you cross the road. There's no traffic around at the moment. You can start to hear now that there are sort of more noise. You can hear doors opening and closing. Definitely activity is coming to life. I would guess it's about 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
As they lead you up to this this gate. Do you want me to knock on the door for you?
It's quite all right. We can take it from here.
Well, if you're quite sure. It's a
Yes.
safe enough area, so
Yes.
yeah, no problem.
Yes. Thank you ever so much for your kindness.
Oh, not a problem at all, thank you.
I'm going to give him a shilling out of my reticule. For your troubles, sir.
Oh, thank you. Too kind. There's 2 of them. There's 2
for
of
one
us.
each then, yeah.
There we go. They both pocket their shilling, dip their hats to you, and head back to their duties.
All right then.
Just sort of watch them go.
Jump down off my horse.
I follow suit. I get down off my horse. Thank you.
And me. Thank you. Well, I must admit I hadn't really planned for this part, but I am sure all will be well. It is rather early to be calling, but I am sure we can explain. Okay, so go up to the gates.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone there?
Not at the gate, no.
Okay.
It's just a iron gate. Nothing fancy.
Is there any bell we can ring?
Not at the gate, no.
Okay. So we can't get in?
Well, you'll have to open the...
Oh,
The
I thought
gate.
you were saying the gates are locked.
No, I didn't say
Okay.
the gate's locked.
Okay. Try the gate then.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yep, you lift it off its latch and it swings open with a squeal.
I stay with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
Alright then.
I kind of look back between the two, not really sure what's happening, but I then follow Rosalind.
Okay, so I walk up the stone steps to the door. On the doorstep, I have a moment where I sort of anxiously fix myself. Is there a knocker or a bell or anything?
There's a rope.
Okay, pull that.
Cool. You hear in the distance you can hear a sort of dongy clang sound. It rings a few times. And you wait. After about maybe...
I'm so sorry. Did not realise it was going to make that noise.
We should all top up while we're...
Talia just
Yeah, might
pissed
as
by the
well.
horses.
That was the horse, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're definitely, like, you can see it's coming out at the top as well.
Yeah.
I think it's better for it to use
We'll use the bottles from now on.
Yeah.
It was a nice
Or just
idea.
don't tip it that far over, you don't need to.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Anyway.
After the horses have finished pissing, all over Talia's feet,
Not canon.
that's canon now for that. That's your punishment. You had to step back and make a dexterity check with disadvantage. Just have to roll over a 10.
Got a 10. The other one was a 6.
Cool, yeah, a bit of splash there. Hits your boots. Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
just a bit of splash. They didn't like pee on my boots.
I mean, no.
Cool.
You weren't standing underneath the horse, I don't think. Okay, so yeah, after a couple of minutes, you can hear someone come to the door. You can hear latches clonk, clonk, clonk. And a boy of maybe 12 slowly opens the door and looks in. Good morning, what can I do for you?
Good morning. I am afraid this is a rather... Well, our visit was not planned. But we are friends of the Viscount, and he is not expecting us, and I am sorry for that, but...
I mean, the Viscount has many friends. You're not the first ladies to come over.
Well, if there was a chance you could fetch him or a servant to let us in...
Right, yeah, okay, let me go speak to someone. He closes
Thank
the door
you.
and you can hear it locking back up again. And he runs off. You can hear his little feet scurrying off down a hallway again. You're probably left out there waiting in the cold for 5 to 10 minutes. What's everyone wearing? Did everyone wear warm cloaks?
No.
No.
I don't think so. It is fairly chilly. It was a fairly chilly night.
Does the fact that I'm wearing boots instead of like stupid little shoes make a difference?
Your feet are warmer.
Cool.
I was warm when I was on your horse.
Okay. After a little while, this time you sort of see a light coming towards the door. And again, clonk, clonk, clonk as the door unbolts. And this time it opens quite wide. There's a little a lantern in an older man's hands. He's 5'8", sort of short cropped, greying hair, moustache. He's sort of dressed comfortably. He's definitely not wearing livery. He's probably just put these clothes on. You don't recognise him. Yes, what can I do for you at this hour in the morning?
Good morning, sir. I apologise most profusely for the time and the unexpected nature of this visit. We were wondering if we might perhaps come in. We are friends of the Viscount, and if...
Friends of the Viscount?
Yes. And
Do you have names, friends of the Viscount?
Miss Rosalind Penhallow.
Oh.
And my cousin, Miss Agatha Pentecost. And... I'll look back at you.
This is most untoward, Miss Rosalind.
Yes, I know, and I am very sorry, but I cannot tell you the circumstances that we have come here under. I can assure you it was a most desperate measure, and we simply need somewhere.
Do you have... I'm sorry to ask, but do you have any proof of your identity?
I have a letter from the Viscount.
Give it to
Sort
me.
of rifle through it. It's in one of my side bags. So
Mm-hmm.
I just have to go back to the horses to fetch that. But one moment, please. I'm terribly sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
When Rosalind goes back to the horses, I'm kind of just left at the doorway awkwardly.
He just stares at you.
I smile politely, but I'm kind of...
I very quickly am trying to rifle through and find this letter. I arrive back. Here, sir.
Let me see. Certainly has his seal and... Yes. Okay, this does appear to be his handwriting and his seal. Well then, I guess you are who you appear to say. I'm sorry to be so, strict about these things, but as you can imagine, the Viscount has a lot of friends.
I understand
who are
completely.
often imploring for his attention, and this is such an untoward... Please, come in then, come in, please. You must be very cold. You've ridden through the night?
Yes.
I am afraid so.
From Bledlow?
Yes.
My goodness, this is... Yes, I will wake the Viscount.
Thank you.
I'm sure. Please, come with me this way. We have a fire lit in one of the parlour rooms.
Just stood with the horses.
Does your manservant need to come?
That is our relative, Miss Bronton.
Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry,
no,
the hat.
I understand. But yes, she really ought to come in too.
Yes. You there, please. I can send the boy with the horses to deal with the horses. He can take them around the back. Please, come in.
Just leave them.
Yes, don't worry, they'll be fine.
They'll run away.
Boy, Johnny, little Johnny. The boy rushes back. He's like, yeah, deal with the horses, take them around the back. Okay. He scuttles off and joins you.
I follow.
Go, please, come in. Right this way. He shuts the door behind you, bolts it all, and leads you down a very grand, very new-looking hallway. There are a few lanterns on the walls that are lit, some oil lamps. You can see a number of gilded framed paintings. All of them seem to be of the Viscount. And you're standing on a very sort of plush, exotic-looking carpet, a rug that runs down the hallway. Takes you about 3 doors down, opens the door, and leads you into a large sitting room where there's a fire that's been recently lit and is sort of crackling away in sort of bright yellow. More paintings on the walls. Some are of just different parts of London. You recognise some from pictures. St. Paul's Cathedral is there. There's one of the British Museum. There's one that's just a sort of an interpretive skyline of London, and you can sort of see various buildings that are sort of popping out that have been highlighted. Westminster, that sort of stuff. The Thames is sort of running through it. In the room is some chaise lounges, some some sofas, armchairs. It's quite a large room, clearly meant to host maybe 20 guests at once. A couple of tables pushed towards the side. On the floor is some rugs. There's a lion's head above the fireplace, and a bear skin with the sort of head intact is sort of draped over one of the armchairs, one of the sofas, I should say. Please make yourself warm. If you sit by the fire, and I'll bring you some hot cocoa, perhaps. We have some.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful. I will wake the Viscount first.
Thank
Then
you.
that'll give him some time to get ready while I'm getting you something.
Yes. Apologies again for troubling the household so early.
No, this is yes. Any friend of the Viscount is always, any true friend of the Viscount is welcome here, and I do know of you, so yes. Warm yourselves, and I will be back as soon as I can with the Viscount.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And he heads out, closes the door behind him. You can hear his footsteps heading off.
I sit down on one of the chairs closest to the fire, and I just sink back into the seat with a deep sigh and just let the warmth envelop me.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any mirrors in the room?
No.
Okay. Are there any reflective surfaces?
That's the windows. And because it's still sort of from that angle, it's kind of dark. So it's lighter in the house from the fireplace.
Okay.
So yeah, you can see your reflection in the glass from at least one side.
I'm just sort of lingering near where I can see, so I'm just sort of I'm very aware that I'm tired and have been a mess all night. So yeah.
Pick the seat in the corner furthest away from everyone.
Cool. Okay. Everybody sitting down, make a Constitution check. Saving throw, I should say.
12.
Do those have disadvantage?
Yes.
Oh.
Bitch, that was about to be 23.
Okay,
Natural 20.
10.
So 23.
Cool. Yeah, you're both sleepy, but holding on in there.
I'm not sitting down.
Mm-hmm. The fireplace crackles and pops, and the sort of light is dancing over Agatha's face as she sits in an armchair warming herself. Talia is more sitting in the dark, further away. You said furthest away, yeah. In a sort of still dark corner of the room. And you're looking in the reflection, half your face glowing in the reflection of the glass. You hear the sounds of horses whinnying close by, presumably yours.
Of course, when I intended on coming here, I had planned on being alone, and it's only right that I check how much you two are comfortable disclosing to people here. I trust that Edward himself will not send word back home if I tell him not to, but I think it is probably for the best we not tell any servants of the true nature of our visit.
Yes, that sounds feasible.
And perhaps the contents of the letters should also not be shared.
No.
Talia?
Sure, whatever you decide will be the right option.
Well, let us get some rest then, and then we can speak to the Viscount.
The door opens and And the older gentleman reappears with a tray with 3 steaming mugs, pewter mugs. Here, girls, I made this. We had something boiling anyway, so hot milk and cocoa.
Thank you so much for your kindness.
Thank you.
No, of course, you must warm yourselves. Blankets, perhaps, to help take the edge off?
That would be lovely.
Wonderful. So he pops down the tray on one of the tables and then heads over to a storage chest that's close by, opens it up and pulls out some sort of lavish woolen blankets. Here, please, and he brings them all over to you. For you. Please warm yourselves. You look dreadfully cold. You have the shivers. Miss Agatha, was it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Let me get this fire warmer for you.
Thank you.
And he sort of pokes at it a little bit, puts on a couple of extra logs. It didn't need any extra logs, but he's doing it anyway. He's a man. That's what he does. Puts logs on fires. He puts one more on for good luck now.
I wrap the blanket around me and... What's this man's name?
His name is... he hasn't told you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I let the man, I hope he passes me a cocoa, so I just hold it. I hold it to my chest and just breathe in the steam that's coming off the top of it.
I've taken like the nicest looking blanket and just arranged it around myself.
Sure.
Like I'm not really warming myself up that like properly. I'm just trying to look like pathetic but pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've woken the Viscount. He was yes, most surprised but excited. He's just getting changed, dressed, and he will be down very soon, I'm sure.
Wonderful.
Is there anything else I can get you girls?
You have done more than enough.
If you're absolutely sure, I'm going to...
Do you have anything to drink?
Yes, I just bought you hot cocoa.
Do you have anything else to drink, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I know it's a bit of an acquired taste. Tea, coffee?
Never mind.
Okay, is it, do you want me to take the hot chocolate away?
No, it's okay, thank you.
Okay. It would be cocoa anyway, not chocolate. Hasn't been invented yet. Cocoa. Actually, yes, it has. Ignore me. Okay, if everything's very well, I will. I'm going to be waking the house now, so there's going to be quite a lot of movement and ruckus around. Please, we'll try not to get in your way.
Thank you.
And he heads out, clicks the door behind him, and you can hear him moving off. Maybe 3-4 minutes later, the door swings open, and a man, tall man, taller than all of you, probably looking at 6 foot, with a sort of wavy auburn hair, very young looking, very strong features. Sort of, how does he enter the room? He glides into the room, I guess, of somewhat of a flamboyant sort of entrance. By the winds, Miss Rosalind Penhallow, what are you doing here?
I'm so sorry for the imposition.
It is never an imposition, my dear, but so strange.
Yes, it is rather. I am sorry to wake you at this time. It was... and I go up to him. It's been terrible. Things at home have been... I am afraid...
He puts his hands on your shoulders. Or like the lower, whatever.
I'm afraid it's quite a tale.
Well, please sit and tell me all about it. And you've brought friends.
Yes. Might I introduce my cousins, relatives, Miss Agatha Pentecost?
Agatha Pentecost, a delight.
Nice to meet you.
And Miss Talia Bronton.
Miss Talia Bronton. A delight. Welcome to my home, ladies.
Thank you. I do not know where to begin. You're aware that my father has been in London for some time on business?
Yes, I spoke to him recently, I suppose.
Yes, you did. Yes. And their fathers too. Before I begin, I must ask that you take my words in confidence and that you not share what I am to tell you with anyone or to send word home to my mother.
He reaches over and takes one of your hands in both of his. My word is my bond, Rosalind, but you must tell me what's going on. You have me quite concerned.
Thank you. We received word of an unpaid bill of my father's, and it appears that they have not been at White's for quite some time, quite longer than we had thought. And as you can imagine, we've all been so terribly worried. But, well, you know what my mother is like. I fear that my brother Archibald went after them, but we have received no word from him either. And, well, none of us could bear to simply sit at home and worry. Edwin has been left in charge of things at home, and my mother, and, well, none of us could stand to sit and wait any longer.
Do you mean to say you girls have come here without permission?
I am afraid so, but...
Rosalind, my dear, you put me in quite a situation.
I understand that, but I trust your respect of my father, and we are acting out of concern for them, and concern that my mother in particular is handling things as best as she can, but I felt that there was more to be done, and I could not bear not to look into things myself.
I see. Yes, and...
I'm sorry to interject, but you must appreciate that we are most concerned if we have come to London unchaperoned.
Well, of course I'm at your disposal. White's, you say?
Yes, that was where they were staying, but...
That is where I last met with him myself. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
How long ago?
Oh, just the other day. Let me think. Well, no, but perhaps it was last month. I am quite often busy. Yes, I guess it must have been 6 weeks, I suppose, since I last met with him. Doesn't time fly? And you haven't heard from him since?
Nothing.
Quite strange. Whites. Well, before we do anything, I think you girls should get some rest. You all look frightfully tired.
Yes, I think
I can
that's
arrange
wise.
rooms for you here.
Thank you.
And perhaps, yes, spend the day resting. And tomorrow, I can chaperone you myself. I'll head to White's, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Thank you.
If it's just a matter of an unpaid bill, please just leave these small matters with me.
Oh, I couldn't ask that of you.
It's really no inconvenience, my dear.
You are too kind.
I will speak with Henry now and get some rooms made up for you. We always have rooms made up anyway, so we'll get them warm. And you girls clearly need some rest, and we'll once you've rested, we'll deal with this then. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Thank you. And in the meantime, I would be incredibly grateful if you did not speak a word of our situation to anybody. You understand, for my family, this is a very distressing matter.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Wait, I need to see. 16.
Okay. Okay. Yes, this is if your father knew, but if he's not here, then look, as you wish. I will keep this to myself for now. But if we start moving around London, I'm not sure how long I could keep this a secret for.
I understand, but even anything is appreciated, and
I will do my best.
I just fear that if my mother received word of what we were doing, she would put an end to it, and I do not know what the consequences would be. She can be so irrational and harsh, and she overestimates her own strength in the world.
Very well, very well. We'll talk on this some more later.
Yes.
Right. If you'll excuse me, I'll get some rooms prepared for you.
Thank you.
Some more, or get you all some rest.
Thank you.
No, it is no imposition. He gives a little bow to all of you, and sort of backs out of the room. So yeah, he disappears for a minute.
I believe some rest will do us all good.
Yes. It shall.
And
But do we have time to wait until tomorrow, like he said?
I don't see why not. We shall scarcely be of any use in the state we are now. And
I suppose, yes.
if we are to do this and to truly investigate, we must be as respectable and together and strong as we possibly can be. I believe a rest is what we all need.
Yes. Yeah, yes, I agree.
And for your health, I really do think it is wise.
Yes. Talia?
Yes.
You haven't spoken in a while.
Quite. I'm sure I'm just tired.
Right.
Yes, we will all feel better after a sleep in a warm bed.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see any drinks cabinets in the room?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
15.
Okay. In a corner of the room, reflecting firelight in the crystal shapes of the decanters, you can see a small tray that catches your eye. On the top level are a number of bottles that you can see in there.
Do they look like spirits?
Just go and check it out.
Cool. I take my cocoa and I go over to the drinks.
Cool.
So
Yep.
it's fine.
Yeah. So on this tray, there is there's 3 bottles there. Each one is sort of fat down the bottom, comes up to a slim opening with a little glass ball sitting on top.
Can I tell what any of them are?
No, they look sort of goldeny yellowy coloured liquids.
I pick one at random,
Mm-hmm.
pour it into my cocoa.
Cool.
Put it back.
Mm-hmm.
Not so that it's like noticeably different in the bottle, but enough. Go back to my seat.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any books in this room?
Yes, there's a small bookshelf that has just a handful of books on.
Okay.
if you go and check it out.
Yeah, so I stand up with my blanket still wrapped around me. I would like to just have a look at the bookshelf.
Okay. There's about 6 books sitting there. One appears to be a thesaurus. One's a dictionary. One seems to be a sort of book of just they all seem to be books on sort of general knowledge. One's about the sort of sights and sounds of London. One's the history of Britain. Yeah, encyclopedia, dictionary. There's one more book, but it's too dark to read its name. Yeah.
Are there any lanterns? Can I take... No, there's a fireplace. I take the book and I bring it over to the fireplace so that I can have a better look at it.
Cool. It's the second volume of the thesaurus.
Okay. In that case, I sigh and I take it back to the bookshelf because I have no interest in reading the thesaurus. I've already read it before.
I've got this copy.
Yeah.
And you actually do.
Yeah.
Drinking my cocoa.
I'm still just standing in the room.
I'm sat back down on the chair I was, wrapped up in my little blanket.
How long have we been waiting for?
3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Just sit and wait.
Yeah. Grandfather clock is just ticking away. Fireplace is crackling. Agatha's head is just nodding up and down. A few minutes later, the door opens again, and the same man you saw before, whose name you picked up was
Henry.
Re-enters with the Viscount. Girls, I've arranged some rooms for you. Timothy? No, Henry. There is no Timothy. Henry will lead you up there so you can get some rest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I should say good night, but
Yes.
good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning, dear Rosalind. Well, let's get you all rested up, shall we?
Yes, thank you again.
Not a problem. Henry. So, okay, come with me, girls, and we've got some guest rooms on the first floor. The fires have all been warmed for you, so you should find it quite restful. Is there anything else I can get for you? Have you eaten?
Yes, we were given a basket. We've been eating on our way.
If you could stand up the bags from the horses,
Yes.
that would be much appreciated.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll have little Johnny bring those up for you.
Mine have been on me the whole time, I think.
Okay, I've got my reticule, but I don't have my side bags.
Sure. He leads you up these very grand staircase. It's a single staircase, not a double, but it's very wide, covered in red carpet. Every few steps is a new painting up the wall. Make a perception checks if anybody's looking.
Yeah. Disadvantage still?
Yes.
4.
Natural 1.
11.
Okay, so you guys are just sort of looking at your feet, going up the steps, one foot in front of the other, making sure you don't miss in your tired states. Agatha, you look up now and then, you notice, the paintings on the walls are of some young children, a young. So there's a couple of young boys, both with sort of curly. Or these are separate paintings, I should say. Both with sort of auburn curly hair. Little blue hats on them. Another one is a sort of older, maybe teenage girl, probably 15, 16. Also auburn hair. You're sort of connecting the dots there. These are all family, obviously. And then further up the steps, there's two older people, a woman and a man, both dressed very resplendently. And those are the paintings. You head upstairs, and Henry stops at the first door. Which of you would like to take this room? He opens the room up, and
I stay at the back of the queue.
Okay, so he opens the room up. The curtains are drawn, so it's fairly dark. There's a little oil lamp that's adding some light there. I've closed the curtains to keep the warmth in and the lights out, so you can rest. Yes, please. Any one of you is welcome here.
Well then, thank you.
Again, not a problem. I'll send up your bags within the next few minutes. So please, yes, wait till your bags are delivered. Then you're welcome. The room is your own. The privacy is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, big 4-poster bed sitting there with all this sort of silken blankets and sheets and curtains that you can draw around the bed and things like that. Fireplace is crackling there, small fireplace. And yeah, it was definitely warmer in the other room, but it's warm in here and it's getting warmer. I see you head in. He leads you to the next door. Same sort of thing. Yes, either of you are welcome to rest in this room.
Thank you. I shall take it.
Not a problem. Okay. Same bags. And third door, so they're all right next to each other. This is a third of 4 guest rooms, so this one will be yours, I imagine.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Rest well. I see you've got your bags with you. Was there anything else on the horses that will be brought up for you?
I mean, the basket was mine, but it doesn't matter too much.
Of course. Well, yes, we'll have the basket delivered as well. Rest well.
Thank you.
And he leaves you to it.
In my room, I am absolutely exhausted, and I'm on the bed, but I'm still like looking around the room, trying to, because I'm so tired, but I still cannot just like go to sleep. So I'm just looking around the room, hoping I will tire myself out.
Okay.
Can I see anything while I look?
Sure, make a perception check with disadvantage.
That was a 4.
4. Yeah, you see a room, 4 walls, some pictures decorating the walls. There's rugs and just a very, very inviting bed.
Okay, in that case, my eyes close and I'm like kind of asleep, but I'm still aware of what's happening around me.
Yeah, you sort of, as you're sort of laying there, you hear a knock on the door, which I guess you don't respond to in this tired state.
No.
And so it's in a sort of almost dreamlike thing. You hear a knock at the door. You remember a small boy coming in and putting bags down beside you. He says something to you, and you feel like you responded back in some way.
I think I probably just went like that.
And then you feel like he probably turned the lanterns down to make it dark in the room, the oil lamp, I should say. And then you think you remember him leaving, but after that it's all very blurry.
All right.
So I got to my room. I think I was awake when the boy came, because I'm going to purposefully just sort of take a look around the room, like not really looking for anything in particular. I'm just sort of taking it in and taking in the house and what the feel of it is.
Sure. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
13.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very grand room. It's your bedroom at home is grand, but it's also very old. There's a lot of cold stonework. There are noises. There's drafts that you have to block off. This is a very newly built house. The floorboards do not creak. As far as you can feel, there's no breezes coming in from anywhere, and it feels different. Your house feels cold and hard, even though it's your home and very welcoming. There's a feeling about this house feels lighter in a way that you're not quite sure how else to describe.
What time is it?
Probably 7:30.
Okay. Look around the room. Look outside.
You pull back the curtains and just sunlight hits you in the eyes.
Pace about for a bit and lie on the bed. Maybe I sleep.
Roll a constitution check with disadvantage.
I mean, that's a 2. So 6.
Yeah, you fall asleep. Just compare. Even if you wanted to stay awake, once you lay down, your body just doesn't let you. Not if you want to. If you wanted to stay awake, sorry. Yeah. So you will sleep. Fitfully in some cases, but you get a good enough sleep that at some point you will begin to naturally wake up again.
There's a way of marking a long rest, I know.
There is.
So
Nothing's changed though, so you don't really. Well, I guess you can.
I mean, we
exhaustion
don't have
point.
disadvantage
Yeah,
anymore.
but you can uncheck that or
yeah. I just wanted to do it properly. Oh well. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, you will naturally wake at whatever times, feeling refreshed somewhat. If you wake up and open your curtains to get more light in the room, you'll see there's a little pulley rope that must connect somewhere to ring for anybody if you needed anything.
What time is it?
You don't know?
I didn't know if there were clocks in the room.
No, there isn't. But you look out the window and you would guess it's sometime after midday.
With my keen mind,
Yes.
can I...
It's 2:30.
2:30.
I know exactly what the time is.
Play.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so when I wake up, I have a moment of kind of being disoriented and then like reminding myself where I am. And I just take a minute in the bed. And then I get up and I find my bags that the boy dropped off. And I'm assuming there is a mirror in this room.
Yes, there's a sort of what do you call it? A desk with a mirror on it. And
Vanity
stuff.
type
Yes,
thing.
that's it.
Yeah, okay. So I am gonna start like getting myself like I'm redoing my hair and everything.
Yes. You see that someone's brought in fresh water and laid that out.
Okay.
This is the same for everybody. Someone's brought in some fresh water in a bowl for washing yourselves and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just doing my little morning routine.
When I wake up, I open the curtains. I know it's 2:30. I turn around and I notice the water on the side, so I pour myself a glass, and I sit down. Is there like a chair in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I sit down at that chair and I slowly sip the water, letting the coolness like go down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that funny?
Weird way to describe drinking, but okay.
Sorry?
I don't know.
Because I described drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Wake up, open the curtains, splash some water on my face, look in the mirror for like 2 seconds. It's good enough. And I go out of my room.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. You open your door.
Sorry. I like make sure that my stuff is like tucked away. I've like hidden my sword under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Sure. As you open the door, you see a couple of servants sort of crisscrossing both ways, with various things in their hands. One of them turns towards, "Oh, you're awake. Can I get anything for you? We've just finished lunch, but the Viscount insisted we keep some ready for you and warm if you'd like to, if we can prepare something for you."
No, not to bother, mate. Perhaps when the others are awake, I'll join them.
Absolutely. We'll let you know when they're awake.
Thank you.
Nothing else? I trust you slept well. He heads off.
Head down the corridor. I'm just being really nosy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just looking around, looking in room.
Okay, cool. You head down the corridor, so you're walking away from where you came from originally. There's a lot of closed doors at the moment. At the end of the corridor is a window. As you get there, you see the corridor then carries around to the left, and you look out the window and you can see these sort of very well manicured gardens, bigger than yours at home, maybe twice the size, but not extravagant. But yes, very well kept, and you see a couple of gardeners out there pruning away at things. Someone's out there sort of cutting at the grass with some sort of small scissors type thing. Someone else is just digging away in a flower bed.
Okay, I turn around and go back, sort of down the stairs that we were brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And what rooms are down there that I can like see into?
Okay, so downstairs, a few of the doors are open. That's just letting the heat sort of move around the house. So when you get there, the first door you see is some sort of library type thing. There's just lots of books on the walls. You can see, presuming it must be his private collection of books. Next room, as you head back towards the front door, is a sort of large dining area. It's all set out with this elaborate, it's all in perfect condition. Knives and forks, silverware is all lined up, crystal glasses. Definitely no one's had lunch here. It looks like no one's had lunch here. Like the whole thing's just been redone and put back to perfection again. Next room is the room that you were in before, the room from last night, or from this morning, I should say. And then the final door is closed. The one closest to the front door.
Think about opening that door. Would I be able to figure out how to get to the garden?
You could probably work it out, yeah. You know which direction it is. It's behind you.
I'll see if I can find my way out there.
Cool. Yeah, so you head back down the corridor again, around a couple of corners. You can see through the kitchen, a couple of people are walking back and forth. You can see down into the kitchen area, and you can see that there's a back door there. Otherwise, you can keep going down the corridor to a non-servant area.
Yeah, I'll carry on then, not going to that, and just head out to be outside.
Cool. Yeah, as you head down the corridor, you come to a sort of a sunroom. Again, these sort of double doors sort of open wide into this sunroom. Couple of big bay windows. All the chairs are sort of arranged around the light coming in, and at the bay windows open up as doors that you could walk out into the garden. So you head out through those doors, close them behind you, and into the garden. You're greeted by the busy sounds. You can just hear a hustle and bustle that you've never really heard before. It's just much noisier than home, much noisier than Penhallow Hall. You can hear horses and carts, wheels sort of clattering in the distance. You can hear men shouting. You can smell. How do you just? You're not sure what the smell is. It's just not the countryside. Yeah.
Is there like a bench?
Yep, number of benches. There's a nice one with sort of flowers growing in an archway and stuff like that. You could sit down and enjoy the morning sun.
Yeah, I'll go sit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna call for a servant to help me get dressed.
Cool. Okay, you pull on your little bell. You don't hear anything, but you presume that somewhere that bell has rung down somewhere. Maybe about 2 minutes later, a young girl comes and knocks on the door and puts her head in. Yes, you rang?
I guess just some assistance getting ready, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, of course. Do you have something laid out that you'd like me to help you with?
Yes, and I get the dress that I brought with me that you hate me for. So this is the dress that I've been having Susan Green work on with the new trim and everything. So it's the one that I wore the last ball, but it's been updated since then. Yeah, okay.
So she helps you get dressed into your ball gown.
I mean, it's like a casual, like I've made it like it's like a very fancy day dress.
Okay.
It's my London trendy dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Thank you. I suppose I ought to check in on my cousins, and then if there's anywhere for us to be greeted downstairs.
Yeah, I think Miss Talia, is it? She's out in the gardens. And I'm not sure about Miss Agatha. I can check, see if she's awake for you if you want.
Yes, and then I suppose we ought to eat.
Yes, we've got food waiting for you that we've kept.
Oh, wonderful!
From lunch.
Thank you.
It's still nice and warm.
That's very kind.
Shall I lead you down now to the dining room?
If you don't mind.
Okay, this way then.
Thank you.
So yeah, she leads you down the stairs, a couple of doors over into the previously described dining room, which is very, very fancy. And pulls out a chair for you to sit in.
Thank you.
I'll go get the others for you, and then we'll get some food for you.
Lovely.
Yeah, so she runs off. She runs back upstairs, knocks on your door. Everyone's awake now. We're gonna serve them lunch if you'd like to come join them.
Yes, thank you.
Not a problem.
I get up off my chair and leave. Go downstairs.
Same. You're sitting in the gardens. Sort of 12-year-old girl, small blonde hair, tied up. Sort of comes up to you and be like, Miss Talia, lunch is served for you
Thank
in the
you.
dining room. Do you need me to lead the way?
No, I think I saw it earlier.
Yeah, just at the bottom of the stairs.
Thank you.
Okay. And she heads off.
I'll make my way to the dining room.
Mm-hmm. Cool. The other two are already there. You will get settled. A man comes in, sort of youngish man, maybe mid-20s, to sort of prepare the table for you. Moves aside some of the various bits of cutlery and stuff to make room for food to be brought in. Was there anything in particular that you would like to eat today?
Whatever is left for us, I would be very grateful for.
Of course. So eventually, not eventually, but in time, a few various people bring in plates of food. Sort of, as a soup comes in first. It seems to be some sort of, maybe it's a chicken soup with vegetables. Quite fancy. You've not tried it before. Not something like this. Followed by a sort of main meal. There's some bread, what seems like maybe roast beef, some boiled potatoes with some butter. Nice lunch. I'm gonna bring you water. They check on you whenever you need anything. One man just stands at the door if you need him. Other than that, there's just the awkward sound of cutlery scraping against china, if you could imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're feeling more rested.
Yes, a lot better.
Wonderful.
And you?
Yes, quite.
Taya? Sleep well?
Much better.
I don't think I've ever been more grateful for a bed.
No, me neither.
So when we finish, I assume they start taking empty things away. And I'll just turn to whoever seems like the most senior staff member. I believe the Viscount made loose plans to escort us into the city today, if he is still available.
He's not home at the moment, but
course.
we're expecting him back. I believe he was lunching with some friends. But yeah, he's usually back. Maybe another half hour or so.
Wonderful, thank you.
Not a problem.
In the meantime, I presume we are free to wait.
Yes, the
while we
house
please?
is yours. I can escort you to the lounge, or the sunroom is nice at this time of day.
That sounds lovely.
If you'd like to come with me, then.
Thank you.
Cool. And he leads you, down the hallway, past the kitchens, into the sunroom, leading into the back gardens, and then sort of positions himself just standing by the door, waiting if you need him.
Well, this is very beautiful.
Yes.
Can you get out to the streets from the garden?
You didn't notice when you went in there before, but presumably.
Which way would I have to go to do that?
Into the gardens and around. You'd have to explore. that you'd walk around the house. So, you walk into the garden, turn around, see the house, and then head to either side. See if there's a pathway that leads.
I'll do that.
Okay. Cool. You get up, leave the sunroom. You take a left first. Head sort of across these sort of this gravel that's outside the house first. And around the side of the house. And there's a sort of like a sort of servanty sort of access route, probably for things like coal and deliveries, that sort of stuff. You head down. You can unlock a small gate that's there, which takes you down a sort of tucked away alley in between the two houses that are on the street, and out onto Park Lane. You look left and right. It's a fairly wide paved road, cobblestones. Horse and carriages are sort of going both ways now and then. A number of people walking along the street. In front of you is Regent's Park, which is a large green area.
I'll head towards that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You cross over the road then. Mm-hmm. In the park is a sort of, you can see a canal with sort of punting boats, a few sort of children running around playing various sort of games that they played in those days. I have no idea. I can think of Regency stuff, not Regency, like Victorian stuff. You've got your hoops and your sticks and whatnot. I don't know if that's what they were doing back then, but that's what they are now. Hoops, some throwing of balls, some kicking of balls. Couples just walking along together in their fineries.
I'll just walk along the canal.
Mm-hmm.
From the sunroom, can we see that Talia's not in the garden anymore?
From your perspective, Talia got up. Were you sitting up first? No. Talia just walked straight out the front, straight out the back door, looked left, looked right, turned left, walked. And that was Adam. You saw her go past the windows, out, and that's the last you saw her.
Okay, so I saw her go back towards the house.
You saw her walk around. Well, okay, so maybe I'm describing it wrong. You're in the room and there's windows. You see her walk past the windows. Okay. That's all you see. Once she's gone past the windows, you can't see her anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna get up and go out into the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And see that I can't see Talia and I don't know where she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just gonna sort of walk around, look around the sides of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I see the servant's entryway.
Mm-hmm.
Is the gate? Did you leave the gate open or closed?
Closed.
Okay. I'm just
make an insight check.
okay. And I don't have disadvantage anymore.
No.
I did, however, roll an 8.
Cool. No sign of her.
Okay. Okay, so the gate's closed, and I'm going to presume / hope.
Well, she wouldn't use that gate anyway because that's a servant's gate.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. But I do know what Talia's like.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to trust that it's London and she's not that stupid. Or hope that. And just sort of look past the gate and assume that she's gone and wandered off around the house somewhere. Or tell myself that.
Around the garden?
And, well, wherever, past the gate, and I'm just going to walk back to the garden and just take a look at the flowers and the plants that are growing there.
Cool. All sorts of different flowers and plants.
Nice.
Exotic ones, local ones. Some you recognise, some you don't. Some, because your mother has quite an established garden as well, so you recognise quite a few different ones.
I'm still in the sunroom. I know that the 2 others have both left, but I'm quite happy being just in the sun. So
like a cat.
Yeah. So I sit there and I I just bathe in the sun. Yeah.
Nice. We'll take a break.
Okay.
All right.
It's been half an hour. Oh, an hour and a half, sorry.
Wow, that went quick.
It's been half an hour, I'm bored.
4.
She's making fun of you.
3.
Welcome back.
That's not a wave. Hello.
Welcome back.
Have a pen.
I have a pink pen because Rosalind has to write in a colour that matches her outfit.
I have a yellow pen.
I'm in pencil because I don't trust myself.
It's also just because Talia doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I just have a pen from the place where I do medical trials for cash.
Oh.
I won't
Mine-
mention-
That's
won't-
why he's the way he is.
Mine's from the uni library.
Mine's just from the uni.
No,
Mine-
it was when they gave out pencils.
Mine's Lyndon's. I am a thief.
Yes.
Rosalind needed a pink one.
Okay.
You need to buy more, aren't they running out?
Yeah, I do need to buy more.
Hey, look. Wobbly pencil.
What?
Wow.
The audience are like, oh my god, I've never seen that before.
Hey, the 5 who are watching it probably hasn't.
5-year-olds should not be watching this show.
That's true.
I really forgot about this trick.
I've never been able to do it.
Oh, you're
Oh,
holding
so
it
I
wrong.
get that.
You got to hold it further up. Yeah, and then just like let it just be really gentle.
Whose phone's on?
It's my iPad.
Oh.
Maijai.
The dirty truth about your food. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
All
shall
right.
we? We're ready.
Is that going to be on silent?
Yes.
I thought so. Cool. That's not getting cut.
Okay.
So, you had an awkward arrival, morning, and lunch at the Viscount's. You've retired to the sunroom.
Well, I have.
Agatha's having a nice time.
Talia has vanished. No one knows where. Rosalind has gone into the gardens to look for her and hasn't spotted her. Mystery. A mystery is afoot.
Such a mystery.
And yeah, Agatha is sunning herself like a cat in the sunroom. That's where we'll
She's so cute.
pick up, I guess.
I'm still just looking at the flowers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do that for about half an hour or so. And then you sort of, Agatha, you hear a sort of hustle and bustle at the in the hallways as you gather perhaps the Viscount is returning.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear some doors opening, closing, and then you hear his big flamboyant voice as he re-enters. Ah, it's good to be home. Right, where are my guests? And you can hear. Mm-hmm.
I went out like for the time. I knew I was going to be back in about half an hour. So
Okay.
around then is when I'll start heading back.
Okay. Make an insight check.
10.
10. Yeah, you just about make it back around the same time. So yeah, well you hear the Viscount's voice in the hallway, and you see Talia coming back from the left of the building again at the sort of same time.
Okay. Yeah, I see her and I wait for people to enter the room.
Mm-hmm. Talia will be first.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few seconds later, the Viscount enters the room. The footman that's sort of standing by the door that's been there the whole time sort of steps aside for him, lets him in. Where's Miss Rosalind?
I believe she is out in the garden.
Oh, wonderful. Would you mind calling her in? And the footman gives a nod, heads outside, calls you in.
Yes, of course.
I trust you both slept well.
Yes. Slept wonderfully.
Miss Talia, you slept well? I see. And then you enter?
Yeah.
Ah, my divine light. You just So glad you could join me here. Please have a seat.
Of course, of course. Thank you once again for hosting us. I think we are all so much better for the night's sleep.
I'm glad to hear it. I've been doing some thinking.
Yes.
Yes, please, the place is yours for as long as you need it.
You are too kind. I don't know how we shall ever repay you. But...
No repayment is ever necessary. Just, the rooms are yours to use as long as you need, and I will help you in any way I can.
Thank you, and I am sure that in the future my brother Archibald and my father will be incredibly grateful to you.
Yes, well, speaking of that, let's sit down now and discuss, now that you've rested, what
Yes.
is going on? You think your father has vanished on an unpaid bill?
Yes, well, we've no idea what's going on, to be frank with you. And as I said, my brother Archibald followed after him and has not been heard of. And this is...
Is the other servant still in the room?
Yeah, he's standing by the door.
Okay.
You, not having grown up with servants, not used to having them in the room all the time. The other two, you know that servants don't see anything and are inconsequential. So, yeah, only you have got an issue with this servant. Rightly or wrongly.
Okay.
Carry on. Or are you interrupting?
No, I just wanted to know that.
Okay.
Well, and as I am sure you can gather, it's very unlike Archibald to be out of touch with us. He's usually very fastidious about these things.
Yes, he's very straight and narrow.
Yes. And I know that it is very unbecoming of me, and I am truly out of my depth here, but I could not bear to sit at home with my mother fretting as she does, and know that there is nothing that I am doing to help, and I am sure my father would be grateful for my involvement, and of course my cousins were equally worried about their fathers, and, well, forgive me.
Well, fret not. You're in good hands now. I will help this be taken care of. You said he was staying at White's.
Yes, they all were.
They all were. I will... Yes, I think perhaps I'll be able to get access to their rooms if you girls accompany me to the...
Well, that would be most useful, thank you.
Obviously you won't be allowed in, but yes, with your testimony I expect they'll allow me to take a look around their rooms and see if we can find anything that might shed light on this peculiar affair.
I believe that the bill collector said that their possessions were still there as they had left them, but they themselves had not been seen for quite some time.
I see. Most interesting. Well, if you... Yes, give me a moment to freshen up, and we'll take my carriage to White's.
Wonderful.
Could I do an insight check on the Viscount?
Sure, what are you looking for?
I don't know, I just want to see if he knows anything.
Oh yeah, sure. Roll insight check, yeah.
Natural 20.
Nice. Okay, sure. Oops.
Secrets and lies are
Like damp. Once they're in the woodwork, the whole house is condemned.
This is the second time that Agatha's got whispers.
Agatha just knows
Agatha
everything.
just knows.
We're just
I
two
feel
in
like-
our own little worlds, me and you.
Yeah. I feel like Aggie will tell us.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
I don't know if I'm trustworthy anymore, though. I don't know what you guys think. I've just brought you here.
I know, but I think she might tell me because this is what happened last time.
That's true.
Oh, it's a lot.
Secrets and lies are like damn.
Secrets and lies are like
That's
damn.
for you, Tom Jones. You better
Okay,
be
I
watching.
didn't need a nat 20 for that, or you knew that. Okay.
Oh, Agatha.
Can I
You
do one on the servant?
Can you what?
Do an insight check on the servant
Yeah, sure.
to see like if he was listening and like how he's responding to it. 13.
No, it's just eyes straight ahead, minding his own business. Just like the sort of way you've gathered from Penhallow Hall that most servants are wont to be. Most servants.
I miss
My
that.
boy. I'm not going to insight check anyone because Rosalind just blindly trusts these people. They're pretty and rich.
Yeah. What more can you need out of them?
Exactly.
Like, they're the ruling class. They are just good by default.
Yes.
Where were we?
He's going to freshen
Yes,
up
he's
and
gonna
then
freshen
go
up.
to White's.
Okay, so yeah, he heads out to freshen up after his lunch. And you're left alone in the room again.
Well, this is something at least. I think White's is as good a start as any.
Yes. I do not suppose we could find a way into the building. The Viscount said we wouldn't be allowed in, but
Well,
I would much prefer if we went ourselves.
are you suggesting we break in somehow?
Not break in, but find a way.
I suggest we go with him so that we can look at ways to get in later when people won't be watching us so closely. Perhaps.
Very well.
From what
Yes.
I know of White's, it is a gentleman's club, and they will be very strict on allowing women to enter the premises.
But Rosalind, you haven't told the Viscount the whole truth. And I take that you do not trust him as much as you think you do. And I think it would be better we may be able to find something with our eyes and not with his eyes.
Perhaps, but it's not a matter of trust. We don't even know what was implied from the letters and all the things that we found, and I think it's best not to jump to conclusions on these things before we understand them ourselves. Let us simply go to White's and see what is found.
Very well.
Okay. After a little while, he comes back to the room. Carriage awaits if you're ready.
Wonderful.
Shall we?
Yes.
Yes.
One in the middle of the table's being mean to me. They're just staring at me all the time. Okay, you head out to the front of the house where there is a gilded black carriage in sort of gold trim. His family crest is emblazoned on both sides. 4 white horses are drawing it. There's a man sitting on top, the carriage driver. And another footman sort of opens the door and pulls down the sort of steps into the carriage for the 3 of you to enter. While the Viscount stands aside and is like, ladies first.
Rosalind's very impressed, but trying very hard to just act like this is all very normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sort of casually get up, sit myself down in the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at everything.
Yeah, you sit down on this sort of plush oxblood leather seating. I don't even know if plush is the right word, but whatever. It's all very fancy on the inside too. Everyone else is getting in?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The Viscount hops in last, closes the door, sort of leans out the window. Take us to White's, dear. And the horses, off they go.
There are windows in the carriage.
Yeah, there's sort of windows that can slide up and down.
Okay, I'm gonna slide mine and just watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I, doubtless of the circumstances, it is still an exciting thing to be in London for the first time, is it not?
Yes, it's nice to be somewhere new.
It's so different, so noisy.
Yeah, the carriage is not too uncomfortable a ride. It's got suspension, it's got cushioned seats. It's noisy over the cobbled streets. But you head about, I don't know, I'd guess like 10 blocks. So you head down Park Lane. At one point you take a left-hand turn along another street, and very quickly come to a stop outside a very lavish marble stone Greek-esque pillared building, which you take to be White's Club. And you also realize that, yeah, you could have walked this distance. Well, it looks like we're here. Shall we, ladies?
Of course.
Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. He jumps out and holds his hand up to help you out.
Okay.
Holds his hand up to help you out.
Thank you.
Holds his hand up to help you out.
I jump out.
Closes the door behind him. And he says to the driver, yes, just wait here and we'll keep you informed of what's happening. Right. Shall we then? We'll see if we can get to the bottom of this.
I knew I was right to trust you with this, but I once again forgive my feminine sensitivities, but I must again implore you to please be as discreet as you can be.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm going to sneeze. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll edit that out.
What the fuck? Never seen anyone do that before.
That sounded so fun.
You do that before.
Anyway, okay, so you're left standing outside this marble building, 4 or 5 stories high, very grandiose. Sort of stone steps that are going up, around, and back up again. You're like, with big double doors at the top with a couple of men standing outside. At the bottom of the stairs, there's another couple of men that seem to be sort of greeters and horse handlers and runners, that sort of stuff. But your driver sort of shifts the carriage down the road a little bit out the way of the main street and sort of settles there, jumps down, starts working with the horses and stuff. And yeah, the Viscount leads the way past the doorman with a nod, up the stairs to the big double doors. Makes eye contact with one of the men who's looking strangely at him because of his company. So we're just heading into the reception room to speak with Will. He gives a nod, and then all 4 of you step through into this grandiose hallway with sort of black and white tiled flooring, a very tall ceiling, and just to the right there's a sort of, I guess, a reception desk. There's a large oak desk there with a man sitting there, early 50s, broad-shouldered, neatly trimmed moustache, and an air of authority. He stands up. Viscount, strange company you keep. Yes, just a little errand. We're not obviously here for much more. These ladies are the daughters of 3 of our members. Frederick, Gilbert, and Harold. Under the Penhallow name, I believe. And sort of this man comes around from the desk, shakes his hand during this conversation. Ah, yes. What can I do for you? He's addressing. I'm gonna have to talk to myself. So he's addressing the Viscount. Well, we're under the understanding that there was a issue with some unpaid bills. Ah, yes. But that was sorted by his son. His son sorted that out a few weeks ago. They still haven't been back though yet, which is quite odd. I see. Well, the ladies here have asked me to look into the matter and see if we could maybe check out their rooms and see if we can get to the bottom of where they've wandered off to, shall we say. And so Will looks him over and says, do you have... I mean, I'll have to take your word, I suppose, that these ladies are who they say they are. So the Viscount's going to make a persuasion check with a 22, so it's pretty good. And you seem like a trustworthy fellow that I've known many, many years, so yes, go right ahead. Ladies, across the street there's a lovely cafe you could wait at.
What room were they in?
Oh, they rented they often use some of our guest rooms. They're always available to members. So upstairs, where there's a number of members' rooms that are available for various reasons, and they often take those rooms themselves and have done for many years now. So yes, as you can imagine, it is quite strange that they would just vanish. I know there was some talk of Paris, but normally they would have at least packed, one would imagine, or made allowances for their bills to be paid. But I imagine it was just a miscommunication. But yes, across the street is a lovely cafe that I think you would find most comfortable. And if you let them know that I sent you, we can put that under the Penhallow bill for you. I'll have someone lead the way for you. And he clicks some fingers, and another man in sort of this blue livery, I think. Yeah, livery comes over. He said, "Please, would you escort these young ladies over the road to the cafe, the lovely cafe, across the street?" And so he's like, "Oh, yes, of course. Ladies, any bags you need me to carry?"
No, that's quite all right.
Okay, this way then, please.
And you'll send for us when you are finished.
Absolutely, yes. And the Viscount says, "Yes, I'll no, you wait there. I'll come over. Please don't worry yourselves. I can't imagine it'd be more than half an hour, I imagine. So yes, I'll come and join you at the lovely cafe across the street."
Thank you.
I've heard it's lovely, so please.
Yes, it sounds quite lovely.
And don't put it on the Penhallow bill. Put it on mine. And Will sort of nods, of course.
You were too generous to us.
Oh, it's the least I could do. Now let me see what I can find out upstairs. See if we can find any clues to this mystery. So this footman leads you back outside.
I'm staying in the reception room.
I'm staying as well.
Please, it's this way, ladies.
I'm quite fine right here.
He looks over to Will, which, as you know him, you don't know his full name, I suppose. Yeah, looks over to Will, and Will looks at you. I do apologise, but this is a gentleman's club.
Either I should be going up to my father's room to have a look myself, or I'll be waiting right here. Thank you.
Make an intimidation check with disadvantage.
Oh, that's charisma based though.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
With a -1.
0. Nice. So your intimidation is just rudeness. It's most unbecoming of you.
Please, sir, if I might apologise for my cousin's outburst.
You don't need to apologise for my behaviour, Rosalind. I'm staying here, or I'm going to my father's room.
Young lady, you won't be the first woman who's caused a bit of hysteria.
Yes, and I'm sure I shan't be the last. Unless
sure
you
you
plan on
shan't.
taking me out of this building with your bare hands right now, I'm staying in this room.
Please, sir, you...
Viscount, this is most unbecoming.
Please, you...
Okay, so how about this? Imagine your father goes missing and you don't know where he's gone. Do you think you'd like some random gentleman to come and tell you where to go? Do you not think you'd rather look yourself?
Yes, dear.
While this is happening, do you think they would...
He's holding his fingers up against your... Yes, dear.
Do they think they would notice if I sneak away while this is happening?
Is he actually
Yes.
holding his finger against my mouth?
I'm messing with you. I'm not letting you bite my fingertip off.
Even if I did a stealth check, would they notice if I sneaked away?
Yeah,
all
you're in a large room. You are drawing a lot of attention. Everyone is looking at you now. There's not a lot of people there.
But they're looking at
and
Talia, not at me.
You're standing in a group, so they're looking at the group.
Alright, okay, cool.
He's quite unfazed by your outburst. You're sort of looking him in the eyes, and he doesn't flinch as you shout at him. This is a gentleman's club.
Wonderful. Do you plan on carrying me out of this building, sir?
Yes.
Please,
He doesn't laugh. He says yes.
You must understand that this is a very trying time for all of us, and it is no small thing to be a young girl in this world and to know that your entire livelihood is dependent upon your father, and for him to disappear quite suddenly with no word in a way quite uncharacteristic.
I
Forgive
completely
me,
understand, dear. But
the emotional distress that causes
But-
is not something a man can
So we're allowed to
understand.
come into the building to stand, but then we're not allowed to stay standing. It does not make any sense. If we are not allowed in the building, why were we allowed in the first place?
Viscount, please don't make me do this.
I do not answer to the Viscount. You do not ask permission to him.
Well, make a strength check. With disadvantage. Because there's 2 people.
9.
Cool. First person rolled 18. Second person rolled 19. 2 men, 1 hand on either side of you, drag you, heels along the ground.
I kick them.
Yeah, you can try to kick them. You
I
can make an
attempt to
attack
kick
roll.
them. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rosalind is losing her mind.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Natural 1.
Nice. Yeah, you make a wild kick, which takes you completely off your balance at this point. Now your feet are just you're now being carried by them after you try that wild kick.
So
Outside, down the steps, your feet go bump, bump, bump down the steps, and they plonk you outside quite sternly.
Can I shove them as soon as they let go of me?
Sure.
Whichever one lets go of me last, I shove.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Attack?
Yeah, we'll make an attack, but an attack that doesn't do any damage.
18.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you give one of them a big shove, and he trips backwards on the steps behind him and lands on his ass. And he looks at that was most
I'm running
uncalled for.
inside.
You're going to run inside. Okay.
I was going to say, because they've taken them outside,
Mm-hmm.
am I now left in reception by myself?
Not by yourself, no. The Viscount is standing there.
But
Like sort of
did he
a
not-
very
Standing there.
bemused look, and he's very lost.
I'm going to very quickly go up to him and take his hand. Please, I am terribly sorry, and I
Taya, when I promised to help you, it was under Rosalind. When I promised to help you, it was under the impression that I've never seen anybody act like this in my life.
I know, but what I said before is true. The emotional distress of this situation is more than I suppose a man could understand, and I am so sorry. I just pray that...
I think you should head outside and perhaps try to calm Talia down.
Yes.
Before anything else.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's quite all right. It's not your fault at all. I understand that this is a distressing time for you.
Thank
But
you.
please, see to Talia and...
Yes.
And all will be well, I'm sure. Agatha, you should see to her too. Perhaps friendship will bind you all together in these trying times.
Yes, thank you.
I will smooth things over here.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, outside...
When I was in the reception room, was there anywhere that I could sit that was attached to the floor?
Sit that's attached to the
Yeah, so like
floor.
a desk or a chair that can't be like moved.
No. So the only thing that's in there is there's artworks on the walls, of course. There's some, I want to call them plinths, is that the right word?
Yeah.
With some sort of busts on and stuff like that. The big desk at the end is stairs going upstairs. Nothing that looks like you could... Nothing fastened to the ground.
Okay.
Other than the staircase, I suppose, the banisters.
Okay.
Warning you now, you're not going to get back inside very easily. Okay, so back outside, you shoved a man. You've started running up the stairs. 4 men are chasing you from behind. 2 men at the top of the stairs are heading down the flight of stairs that you're now heading up.
And we're heading outside now.
And you're going to head outside. Roll initiative, I guess. I'm so unprepared for this.
Wait, all of us? Because
I mean, yeah, you guys can roll too, whether you're joining in or not. It's just that's when you can make
when
actions.
I can do something.
What's initiative?
It's up at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's just your...
4.
Nice.
8.
3.
They're going to move in 2 groups. So the ones at the top
What
of
is happening?
ones at the top of the stairs got 13. Oh, I've lost it. The ones at the bottom of the stairs also got 3. But you got a 1.
Yeah.
So, so they're going to go...
Well,
so
I
the
got
ones at-
3, but I rolled a 1.
Okay, so the other equal. Okay, cool. Okay, so they're hot on your heels, moving at the same time. They'll go after you based on surprise.
Okay.
Despite the fact that they shouldn't have been surprised, they just carried you out. Okay, so the 2 men at the top of the stairs move first. They come down the stairs and make an attempt to grab you, one either side. So they're going to make strength checks against you. It'll be contested. So the first one rolled a 6. And the second one rolled, 12. So you have to roll.
Above a 12.
Yes.
16.
Okay. Okay, so these 2 men in the blue livery, either side, you got to grab both of your arms. The one on the left goes to grab you, but kind of just misses you. Get your arm out of the way. The other guy gets his hands on you, and you just sort of shrug him off, and he twists and almost trips down the stairs. And now you're surrounded by there's now basically 6 men behind you. And then what did you roll? What did you guys
3.
roll? 3.
No, yeah, 3.
Also a 3, and you
I
rolled.
rolled an 8.
Okay, so you're next. So you step out of the front doors to see 2 men running down the stairs and being almost tossed aside by Talia.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything?
Am I alone in the room apart from
No,
Rosalind?
you're outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
you
guess
all-
because of the initiative, so Agatha's got outside before me. Is that what we're saying?
No. So this
Okay.
whole thing starts with the 2 of you at the doorway.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I step out of the way then. Talia can
Okay.
get by.
Is it me?
You got 4.
Yeah.
Yes, then it is you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna sort of not approach the action, but just sort of like try.
So this is so you've got stairs going up, and then a flat where they go round and back up again. So this is now happening on that
The
flat bit. So 50% of the stairs.
So I'm gonna take like 2 steps down. Please, everyone, this is very unbecoming in public, and I would hate it to reflect badly on our family or on your establishment that you've been handling a young lady in such a manner.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
15.
Okay, one got a 1. Another 1. A 9. An 11. A 5. And a 13.
Brilliant.
So, all of them...
People listen to me, okay?
Every single one of these footmen hesitates for a moment and was like, "You're right, we are making a bit of a scene." And it is just a woman, guys. As Talia, I guess, has a free run. So, okay, and we both rolled a 3, and I said you could go first. So, yeah, so it's your turn now anyway.
So I keep running. Will I be able to make it into, like, the reception area?
You can make it back to the doors.
Okay, I'll do that. And as I get to the top, I'll call forward to Will and the Viscount. It appears that your security have thought it okay to leave me where I wanted to be.
Okay. So Will would have heard you too, even though that wasn't particularly directed at him. Just going to keep rolling until... No, he got a 7. Okay, so that was your turn to get up to the top, and your action is saying those words. So the next 2 guys, they... Wait, which... Yeah, so it's...
So it's the 4 that were behind me now.
So the 4 that were behind you, all 6 of them are behind you now, but the 4 that were about to go, sort of look at each other, hesitate, and they kind of just sort of pull down their livery, and they do march up the stairs, but now they're like, oh, we're much more proper. We'll go and we'll deal with this like civilized men. We're obviously just taken a bit by surprise by this uncouth behaviour, and they then march up and stand around you. So all 3 of you now are surrounded by these 4, fairly large men. They're not bodyguards. They're not.
So these 2 are up by the door with me now, then.
Yeah, you're standing next to them. So all 3 are there, and then the other 2 that were at the top come back up as well. So 6 men
Behind us.
Yes, making a wall around you at this point to sort of hide you from the outside world so that people outside on the street can't quite see what's going on. And people are looking. Because everyone loves a bit of drama at White's. Okay. So, Viscount Sallingham just looks so lost. Ladies, please. There's no need for all this, hysteria, I suppose. I quite understand that you're upset, But please, you can trust me to handle this. I will rise to the occasion and treat it with the seriousness that it deserves, but this is white. You can't make a scene here. It reflects poorly on your fathers, not me.
I understand entirely. And I turn back to the other men.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it reflects poorly on the establishment if they are willing to mishandle a young lady. And I should hate for our fathers to find out about that in the future.
And Will agrees with you. Yes, quite right, actually. I do think things got a little out of hand here, and I'm sure there will be apologies on all sides, and we can put this unseemly business behind us.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Completely.
Wonderful. Shall we start again? There is a lovely cafe over the street that you will find most comfortable, while the Viscount here helps get to the bottom of your missing fathers. And trust me, we all deeply respect your fathers. They have been members here since longer than I have worked here.
How much does their membership cost?
Excellent question. A lot.
A lot.
Yes. I'm sorry. Speaking, we don't make our membership fees public.
Oh, not even to a daughter of one of those members.
No, it's really between the members. And,
But it's a lot.
well, let's say it's a lot. Yes.
So, if our fathers were to revoke their memberships, you would be at a loss.
I don't imagine your fathers would revoke their memberships. They've been members.
Clearly,
here
you
for
do not understand the relationship that we have with our fathers, especially myself, sir. If my father found out that there was any sort of mishandlement of me, I can tell you for certain he would 100% be revoking his membership.
Well, I'm sorry you feel
And
that
I'm
way.
sure if my father starts this,
certainly,
the others will follow suit. They do move as a unit, I'm sure you'll both agree.
Yes.
certainly there has been some regrettable actions, and I will be speaking to the men personally.
Yes, and as
But
an
ladies-
apology for the way that I've been held and the bruises that I'm sure will show up, I think I'll be allowed to wait here while the Viscount goes and looks in the rooms. I'm not asking to enter the club, as I'm sure you'll remember.
Make a persuasion check again with just just a persuasion check. At this
Have
point,
advantage from her point.
well, it's I'm saying it's disadvantage because you're a woman trying to ask for something that you really shouldn't be doing, and then you got advantage because this whole scene is now incredibly embarrassing for everybody. So it's just a straight roll.
9.
And we'll make it contested. 12.
You have seen how manhandling me out of the building works, sir. I can promise you it will go the same way if you attempt to do it again.
Oh, the temptation to do it again. Young lady, if I allow you to stay in here, I will lose my job. There is no two ways about it. I simply cannot allow it. And I think I am being more than reasonable in providing you with a paid location across the street. I will handle the bills from the lovely cafe across the street.
I'll tell you what I'll do. As I can't be in the establishment, as you so like to remind us, I'll remain right here on the front step, where I'm not actually in the building, am I?
Perhaps at the bottom of the stairs.
But the stairs will make my legs ever so tired, sir. I can't expect our poor Agatha over here to be climbing up and down the steps all day.
Well, I'm
I
sure
have
one of
been very ill.
And she is sheltered from the sun here.
The sun,
You've already failed every persuasion check, sorry. Bottom of the stairs.
Fine, and then when they leave, I'm going halfway up.
Okay. At the bottom of the stairs, everyone kind of gets back into their expected position. So there's 2 men at the bottom of the stairs, 2 men at the top, and the other 2 men that were chasing you have gone back inside. And as you then turn around to walk back up the stairs, you give a glare at the 2 men at the bottom, and one of them was about to use, and sort of he watches you get halfway up. He looks up to the other guys, and they're ready for you to make another run, but they're just watching you at this point. And they see you stop halfway, and they just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And where are the other 2?
at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, I'm just going to go stand at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay, so you wait out there for about 45 minutes, I guess, to an hour. Yeah, I guess Agatha knows that it took exactly 49 minutes.
And 50 seconds.
Yes, before the Viscount steps back out and starts walking down the steps with a serious look on his face as he comes back down. Shall we bring the carriage around and head home, ladies? We'll talk about it there.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
He motions over in the distance to the carriage driver, who hops up, brings the carriage around again. You, all 3 of you, jump back into the carriage. He offers you a hand all up, and you take that 3 to 5 minute horse thing.
When I walk past the guard at the bottom, can I do like a little, just to see what he does?
Sure, make an intimidation check. Strength based. So basically...
So I'm adding my strength
Yes.
modifier.
Yeah.
15.
He rolled a natural 1. he squeals like he goes... He pretends it didn't happen.
Giggle a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Get into the carriage, not taking the Viscount's hand.
He helps you up with his hand on the small of your back.
I hid it away.
That didn't happen. That was just me being funny. Ha 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 ha, misogyny. Anyway, okay, so you take the 5 minute carriage ride back to the house, pull up around the front, jump out, head back in, carriage leaves around the back. Somewhere, you don't know how the carriage gets around the back, but it's there somewhere. And you all head back to the sunroom, where it's warmest. Well, girls, I had a look around their room. They were just sharing a room, it seems. And yes, I didn't find any clues particularly. It was interesting. So, if I may describe it to you,
Please.
I entered the room, and it was a reasonably tidy room. On the right hand side there was the wash basin, and in the wash basin there were shaving equipment, clean, neatly placed. Three of them, 1, 2, 3. There was soap, I believe, white soap, not theirs. Cloths for the face. The mirror was clean. On the right hand side was a bed. On it were laid out a suit. At the foot of the bed was a blue suit. I remember. The foot of the bed was a grey travel case. Grey. Which of your fathers travels with a grey case?
We would know that, right?
Yes. So you just choose one of your side.
Mine does.
I see. So your father was using the single bed on the left, and blue suit was laid out, a travel case at the bottom. The bed was made mostly. Pair of shoes, nice shoes were there, and it looked like he'd had the clothes laid out ready for evening wear, perhaps to head down for dinner in the main dining hall of White's. And then the next bed along was a green travel case. I remember it was green at the foot of the bed. The bed wasn't made. Which of your fathers had the?
That would be mine.
I see. So the bed was unmade, as if someone had jumped out in a hurry and didn't remake it, which is odd. I find, as Whites usually have a maid service, but I imagine that they just asked for some privacy, and so they had not gone in, and then of course they left things as they were when the bill was unpaid. So, and again, a suit was sort of draped over the end of the bed, a black suit, gold necktie. And you'll forgive me, but I went through the paperwork that I found on the desk. There were, what was there? So there was just a number of notes on places that they planned to visit around London. Sort of some scribbling, some sort of brief maps of directions that they'd made. I believe they were looking at the museum. The British Museum was on their list. Let me just double check that. La 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 la. Yes. The British Museum. They had directions there. They had just directions to various coffee houses, as you know. Well, perhaps you don't know, but coffee houses are very popular at the moment for doing business in. I do a number of business transactions in coffee houses myself. When one is not doing business at one of the gentlemen's clubs, coffee houses are often a way, especially for the exchange of stock. Stockbrokers aren't allowed into the Royal Exchange because of their unruly nature. So we don't really allow them in there. Only bankers. So what else? There was a number of books that they left there. Strange books. I didn't quite understand them myself. I think some astronomy, various sort of scientific books, a history book. What was it called? You'll excuse me. My memory is better for visuals more than words. It was something about the history of the British Isles. I think it was quite old, maybe 200-300 years old. I forget. I believe, if memory serves me right, it was one of the books that William Shakespeare took his inspiration from some of his plays. That sounds right to me. I'm not much of a Shakespeare fan myself, but I know some of the fellows are, and I pick up a little bit of knowledge. So the third bed there must have been your father's, wasn't a black suitcase? Yes, that was tucked under the bed, and that one was at a right angle to the others below the window. Small room. Obviously, they were choosing to not be to be more thrift with their money. Yes, neatly made bed. Again, another suit later. Most strange. It was like it's like they had plans and then didn't see them through. I was left with the picture that they would be coming in, putting on their suits and heading for dinner at White's. That's what one would normally do. And I guess they did not. When did you say you last heard from them. I spoke with the captain at some length. There was a lot of smoothing over to do, as you could imagine. But rest assured, I have smoothed things over. No more shall be spoken of it. Not to your fathers, not to any of the gossipers. I mean, as you can imagine, it was an embarrassment for them as much as it would have been for you. So they're more than happy to forget it ever happened, shall we say, especially one after one greases the wheels. They are a stickler, if nothing else, for propriety, and yes, I'm afraid propriety was definitely thrown out the window today, wasn't it? But I completely understand your reaction, and it's regrettable but forgettable, I think we could say. Yes, so worry not. But as for the business of your fathers, yes, most strange. I did speak with the captain at some length, and it could be arranged that their belongings could be, upon final satisfaction of the bill, because there is now more since your brother settled the previous bill, and I'm happy to settle that myself. It's not much. Their belongings could be brought here for you to look through at some length, if that would help.
Perhaps.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. So long as word is not sent to my mother, if possible. I would hate to trouble her further if she knew. I worry for her sensitivities.
Of course.
Can I do insight check on the Viscount to check that he is telling 100% the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Can I also?
Sure.
I'm again just blindly
13.
trusting.
Mm-hmm.
18. Imagine he comes and just like whispers between the two of us and you just have to sit talking.
Rosalind's like, isn't everyone lovely?
Wait, what did you roll?
18.
18.
We don't know anything. Isn't the sunroom nice? It's so warm. I wish I knew things. But Rosalind's dumb.
Very easily asked for insight.
I don't trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
I really gave myself the most frustrating character to play.
Huh. Okay, I forgot what you were saying.
To have the things sent here for us to look through.
Yes. But weren't you talking? No, you were just apologising.
I was saying to not send word to my mother if the things get
Okay,
removed.
yep. No word will be sent to your mother.
Thank you again for your discretion and for your kindness to us today. I can assure you this is not normally the way that things occur for us. It's been
right.
a trial for us all, and I believe riding through the night last night did no good for anybody's health.
No, I'm sure. I trust perhaps another long rest this evening will get you all back to
Yes.
good spirits. But please, I implore you, this can't happen again.
I understand completely.
If we want to keep things on the down low, as the kids say, we will have to move with the utmost decorum, ladies.
I quite understand.
When will we get that stuff here?
We could have it delivered today, I imagine. If that's what you would prefer, I could have someone sent over now, and they could get to it.
Very well.
As you wish. Splendid. I will have someone. And he nods
Thank
to
you.
the doorman who, the footman at the door, who disappears, presumably to follow his instructions. Now, can I offer you all perhaps some wine to settle the nerves?
Yes, that's very kind of you.
Wonderful. Natalia?
Yes, it sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
I think it will do good. I think it will do us all good.
Yes.
And he gets up, moves to a cabinet at the sort of back of the room, pulls out a little key from one of his pockets, unlocks it, opens it up, and there is an array of what you can only imagine is probably the most expensive alcohols you've ever seen in your life. Lots of various bottles of stuff. And he takes out a dark-coloured wine bottle, decorks it, picks up some glasses, pours out 4, and brings them all over to you. Please, this is from one of my vineyards in Spain. It's one of my own vineyards, and I must say, quite the wonderful vintage. If you smell the bouquet, you can pick up notes of oak and raisins and even vanilla. I feel like there's a touch of cinnamon in there at the back of the palate.
It's quite delightful.
As he hands me my drink,
Mm-hmm.
is there any way that I can, like, accidentally knock his hand so he spills a bit on the floor?
Make a sleight of hand check.
8.
Okay. I guess I've been mean here to you, but no. So you just slap his hand,
No.
trying to make it look like what you've made an attempt to.
But
knock
I'm not, like, touching his hand. I'm, like, taking the glass and trying to, like,
but you failed to do the thing that you wanted to do. So you reach out your hand too fast and sort of punch his hand with your hand like that, but it looks really obvious that you meant to do that and made it look like an accident. But this is Regency England, so oh my goodness, you.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. I'll have someone clean up. Please, I'll let me pour another glass. It's quite all right. The carpet is it was old anyway.
This wine is quite delightful. I must admit, it must be an incredible venture to produce your own.
Oh yes, I would spend every winter in Spain in my younger years, managing the vineyards. A wonderful experience, wonderful culture. Very laid back. I did enjoy the siestas
Yes, I should love to visit one day.
as well. Perhaps one day we will sail there and experience all its glory.
That sounds wonderful.
And you would both be welcome to join us too, of course.
Thank you. The wine smells delightful.
The riding of the bulls at Pamplona.
Have I been given another glass?
No, he's now just talking to himself about his vineyards and stuff.
I'm enthralled.
So
The riding of the bulls, the running of the bulls at Pamplona, the way the sun rises.
I finish Agatha's glass of wine.
And he's just talking.
I'm like, oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, quite.
And eventually he pours you a drink as well. So he sort of walks across the room talking and eventually pours you one, brings one back.
Cool. In the meantime, Agatha's passed her drink to me. I finished it and handed it back.
Mm-hmm. And he passes this one to you.
I'm just sipping mine because Rosalind actually is really not used to drinking wine and it's not very nice. But
This is not watered down wine like you're used to.
But yes, I've never tasted anything like it. The authenticity is quite clear.
I'm so glad you could agree. It's so nice to share such a refined palate. Did you get the notes of cinnamon and vanilla?
Yes, I think so.
Wonderful. How about...
Oh, it was delicious. Thank you.
You've both finished your drink so quickly.
Oh, it was...
If I may, one is better you take the bouquet in your nose first before
Yes, quite.
sipping and enjoying slowly.
I'm afraid we do
To
not
get
have...
the full...
I walk out to the garden.
Mm-hmm. Yes, do enjoy the gardens too.
The fresh air, it Opens up the bouquet.
Yes, I was just saying that we do not have luxuries such as these in Bledlow, I'm afraid. My father's wine cellar is quite extensive for his means, but nothing of this sort.
Well, I will send a case home with you.
That's very kind.
How long do you think you'll stay?
I must confess we had not planned so far as that, but perhaps long enough to settle our nerves, and I believe that a look through our father's things, it may, I don't know, lead us in a direction or take us, or settle our minds in some way, but I should hate to leave London before truly enjoying the city.
No, of course, and this city is to be enjoyed, so I will endeavour to make your stay as pleasurable as possible.
Thank you.
Perhaps this evening, a trip to the opera. Would that interest you?
Oh, that sounds
not you,
wonderful.
because you're not there. I'm
not there.
just talking to an empty chair.
I have always wanted to see the opera in London.
Wonderful. I believe there is opera on this evening.
Wonderful.
One of the famous ones. But the famous opera writer.
That
Would
sounds...
you like an opera?
Yeah.
Carmen.
Yeah, that one. It's one of my favourites.
Well, that sounds delightful, but I'm afraid, due to the nature of this trip, I fear I've nothing to wear.
Wagner. Also one of my favourites.
Yes. You know so many things. Yes, I fear we may have nothing appropriate to wear.
Oh, leave that with me. I can arrange any dresses you want.
Really?
Yes, I mean, of course they'll have to have something in your size, but I'm sure we can find a number of dresses that would fit perfectly.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes, the opera this is then. I will make arrangements this evening.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Oh, not a problem. There was something else I wanted to say too, but I've forgotten it because I got sidetracked by opera talk. But it will come back to me, I'm sure.
I'm sure. You men have so many things in your brain to keep track of. It's quite impressive.
Yes, we surely do. More wine.
Oh, I fear I would hate to overindulge myself. My feminine capabilities are not for much alcohol, but
Of course.
for now I shall simply savour and enjoy this and give it the care that it deserves.
Of course. Of course.
If you don't mind, I would like another glass. I think I might go join Talia in the garden.
He pours you another glass. Perhaps just take the bottle for Talia. She did take her glass with her.
Yes.
didn't.
You didn't?
I can do.
I was making it up, but you argued, so now you don't have it.
Okay.
No. Perhaps take the glass and...
Yes, I think after today a bit of fresh air will do us good.
Yes, and then you need to make a constitution check because you're not a drinker.
I haven't drunk anything.
Oh, you didn't drink the... Of course you didn't.
Yes,
I forget.
go to Talia.
Yeah.
Yes, I got confused.
Yeah. So I go out into the garden. I see Talia sat down. You're right. I hand her my full glass and then also the bottle. I got those for you.
Thanks. Seems rather unlike you, Agatha. Handing me all of my drinks.
They're looking to go to the opera tonight. I do not wish to though.
And you would absolutely need somebody to stay home with you, I'm sure.
Yes, I think I would quite enjoy that.
Yes.
I would need some company.
Of course. Sounds like we have a plan then.
Yes.
I do wonder if there's any way of getting back into White's. But I suppose if all of our father's stuff is being brought back, it's not necessary.
Who's to say that everything will be brought back?
Did you have a plan in mind?
Not really. You seem to be the one who's the expert at getting into buildings.
I hardly think I could break a door again.
Your mind wanders back to falling through a conservatory window.
the way I see it, as we are what we are, they won't let us in.
Right.
Something tells me they'll remember my face.
I do not believe the Viscount is who he says he is. I believe that he did go up to the rooms and saw everything he saw, but he could have easily missed out details.
Yes, that was my worry. I feel as though if our fathers are all in one room, and they always have that room, that perhaps there is a reason. I feel as though that anything that they would want to hide wouldn't be with their stuff, but hidden somewhere.
We've looked under floorboards before.
Well, exactly. We just need to find a way in. Perhaps we should go for a walk.
Perhaps we shall.
I get up, head, finish my drink, pour the rest of it away. How much of the bottle was left?
Well, that's 1, 2.
I had 2 glasses.
So
I
saying
had
3
2.
glasses. Oh,
You
fine.
had
I
one.
had one.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had one. Poured another.
That's about. It's like 6. No, I suppose they called their glasses probably smaller back in those days.
Yeah.
There's probably maybe a couple of glasses left.
Can I be seen from the window?
Yeah, it's not a big. I mean,
Oh,
not
okay, then I won't do
necessarily,
that.
'cause you
To
could
be fair, in the
position
sunroom, I'm presuming like we're just very intensely like you're talking at me, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yes,
I'm
he's
So-
describing his last holiday in Spain to you, about how he went on a hiking horseback trip through the I forget the names of the mountains, but the ones
The
to the north
Alps?
of space.
No, not the Alps.
It's the only mountain range that comes to mind.
How he sailed along the coast in one of his schooners. It's a boat.
The Sistema Iberico? The Iberian
Iberians,
system?
yeah, that's
there we
it.
go.
So yeah, he took a trip through the Iberian Mountains down to the coast, sailed around the Spanish peninsula through the Rock of Gibraltar, all that sort of stuff. Really experienced a lot. Talked about the war.
Did he fight in the war?
Yes.
Does he have lots of war stories that he wants to tell me?
So many, but they're not for a lady to
No.
hear. So he's like, oh, I couldn't. It would. The things I've seen would shock you to your core, and I cannot talk about them.
Of course, I thank you so much for your sensitivity.
Thank you. Your kindness means a lot to me. I'm just glad that frightful time is over now, and we can settle for peace.
Yes.
Profitable peace.
Yes.
So we'll go back in,
Mm-hmm.
put the stuff down, and I will just continue to walk out of the room.
Ladies, we're going to arrange a trip to the opera this evening.
Yes,
If you'd like that.
I just told Talia about it.
Wonderful.
That being said, though, I do not know if you know of me, but I have been quite unwell for some time, and the long night we had last night,
It has taken its toll.
Of course.
I feel very weak, and I do not think I should go back outside.
Stands up in alarm when you say you feel very. Is there anything I can do for you?
No. I think that
Just an early night, though.
just an early night. Yes.
Yes, of course. And if you need your room to be warmer, if you need anything you want, we are at your service. The last thing we want is for you to get sick while you're here.
Yes. I mean, you may go to the opera, but I would really like it if at least one of my cousins would stay with me.
And
Of
I
course.
am more than happy to stay behind.
Of course, of course. Then I guess it shall be you and I.
I suppose.
If that is okay with you?
Yes, I'm sure. If that is what will be better for your health, then I understand.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Are you sure there's nothing more I can get you to help you feel better, more at ease? Anything?
No, just a cup of tea brought up to my room, please.
Tea, absolutely. And yeah, the footman who came back in at some point, you didn't even notice him come back in. He gives another nod too, and he runs out again to go and sort out some tea for you.
All right. Well, you two enjoy the show tonight. Talia, mind taking me?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'll send word when your father's belongings have arrived.
Yes.
I imagine it can't take more than 2 hours, since it is only a brief carriage ride away.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course.
Are we going up to your room or are we...
We'll wait for the tea to arrive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I want to wait for them to leave the building.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, he continues talking about, and he's now just describing the ship that he sailed on. It's his ship. Well, it belongs to the business. He's now describing in details, like 68 foot long, oak beams, 14 different sails. It's old boats. Fabulous. We could get 12 knots out of it.
Wow.
Yes, and we sailed right between the Rock of Gibraltar and Morocco. They used to call it the Pillars of Hercules. Did you know?
I have no idea.
And it reminded me, it almost made me feel like I was a Greek warrior in those ancient stories of some time.
Yes, I see the likeness.
Yes, it was quite exhilarating, I must say.
I can only imagine.
Mm.
Such adventures as these are truly impressive. I've never dared dream of such things.
Well, you know, there could be many more shared adventures in the future.
Really?
Really.
I would like that very much.
And as soon as your father returns.
Oh. Yes. Well, let us hope that is swiftly.
I'm sure it will be.
Yes.
Now, I had heard talk of them heading to Paris.
Yes, there was something mentioned about that.
They'd mentioned a number of times in White's during dinners where I'd been there that they were expecting to take a journey, because everyone was excited. They had messages they wanted the people to receive in Paris. So it's entirely possible that they simply left without telling anyone, and perhaps there was some mix-up with the bills, one can imagine.
And some...
But I do agree it was strange.
Yes,
It's a strange sight to look in that room as if ghosts somehow had just made it what it was. It's hard to describe. There was an eerie feeling to it, I must say. Not to put you at alarm, I must say. I mean, the room was just a room.
I understand. It is a distressing time, and
yes.
I am endeavouring to be strong.
Well, I will head back to White's tomorrow and ask around at the dinner.
Yes, that would be most useful, thank you.
And see what anybody else knows. Perhaps they did, in fact, leave messages with someone and they simply forgot to pass it on, or they knew something that they didn't realise they had to share, because obviously unpaid bills are not something that gets passed around as gossip at White's. Of course, it was all kept under the table, but I can ask some questions without arousing suspicion.
That would be most appreciated.
Then I'll get back with you. But for now, yes, let's wait for the belongings to arrive back here, and then perhaps a trip to the opera.
Yes.
Yes, to settle you into London.
Yes, that would be a very welcome distraction, I must admit.
And there are so many sites I could send all three of you girls around to see. That
would be wonderful.
I should show you around my house too.
Yes, I would love a tour if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. I only moved in a year ago now, having it newly commissioned.
Yes, I remember you wrote.
Yes, I keep all your letters.
Really?
Yes, I read them nightly.
Well, that's quite flattering. I'm not sure what my silly little words could hold for you. But
Oh, nonsense, dear, nonsense.
it has
I hold them
been...
close to my heart.
Well, that is good to know. Your letters have been a great source of entertainment for me, as you can imagine. Bledlow is a very beautiful village, you remember, but
I do.
But it is small, and it's what it offers in aspects of grand society is rather small too.
Provincial, we say in London.
Yes, and as much as I do appreciate all the charm, I sometimes long for the bustle of a city like this, and your letters have been a wonderful window into your world.
Well, I endeavour to always entertain you with the stories of my escapades around London. And now you may join me in them. You may become part of the story,
How
not simply
thrilling.
read it. Yes, there are many options. We'll head to the museum. We'll head to the observatory, the King's Observatory. We'll
That
head
sounds
to
wonderful.
so many great places. Perhaps a trip down the river at some point might be nice.
Oh, I would love that.
Well, I'm sure one of my boats will be in at any point.
How wonderful. Do you know, I've never been on a boat like that before.
Never.
No.
Oh, to feel it on the back and the forth, the wind in the sails. Exhilarating.
Sounds thrilling.
Now, I must be off to organise a few things for this evening. So
Of
I will...
course. And the matter of address?
Yes, he sort of looks you over. Yeah, I'll have a number of dresses sent over. I'm sure one of them will fit and be more than suitable.
Wonderful. Shall I be expecting those delivered to my room?
Yes, if you want to retire to your room, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, the house is yours.
Wonderful.
And the servants will treat you as if they are your own.
Thank you.
Not at
Well,
all.
I suppose we shall reconvene later then.
Yes.
It has been delightful to talk to you.
Yes, absolutely delightful in return.
Thank you.
Rest well, Miss Rosalind.
Thank you. And I just go back to my room.
Okay, what time is it now?
You tell me.
He's so salty about keen mind.
I guess, like, should we say 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock. And what time does the opera start?
Like 6.
6. Okay.
So, yeah, at some point within that hour or so, excuse me, a horse-drawn cart arrives with a number of sort of boxes and stuff like that. Agatha, no, who took the first room?
Me.
Yeah.
Right, so you can see out the front window then. So you'll notice this horse-drawn carriage pull up with a, not a carriage, like, I don't know what you call it, a trailer.
Yeah.
But like a trailer for horses, loaded up with various, I guess just a wagon. Wagon appears, and you spot your father's travel cases, a number of sort of wooden boxes that have been nailed up, presumably with other belongings in, a few things like that. And they start getting unloaded and carried into the house.
I leave my room, go to the room. I know that, these two are in the next two. So I just go to the next one, lock the door. You were in the second one, weren't you?
Are we both in there?
Yeah. Come in.
I've just seen out the window our father's belongings have arrived.
Oh, wonderful.
Shall we go down and take a look?
Yes.
All right then. And I turn and just walk down the stairs.
We follow.
We follow, yeah.
Okay, cool. As you're heading down the stairs, one of the servants is heading up to... your father's belongings have arrived.
Yes.
We're just taking them into one of the rooms in the back of the garden. That seemed the most suitable place. If you'd like to follow me, if you wanted to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll also let the Viscount know. He'll join you in a moment, I'm sure. I believe he's in his office. And he leads you out through the garden. You're sort of now following behind a couple of men carrying some large crates, and then at the bottom of the garden is a sort of garage where they've laid everything down.
Well,
Let's start looking then.
all right then. I'm going to go to my father's trunk and open it and start looking through.
And
I
I'm
will
going to
do
go
the
to
same.
mine.
Okay, cool. Make investigation checks. Let's just do one at a time. So, yeah,
11.
cool. Okay, so yeah, you open up yours, or his, I should say, and it's just it's not been padlocked, so you just have to lift up the latch, open it up, and it's got a number of folded clothes in, all fairly neat and tidy. It's clothes, a sort of an empty notebook and some writing equipment. Couple of books on the history of London. The first book's called like the History of Londinium, and you gather it's a sort of book based on like the establishment of London as a sort of Roman trade centre and stuff like that, and all the way through to now. So it's a condensed version of the history of London. The other book is a book about trade routes and travel around the North Sea. And that's about it. Anyone? Roll.
7.
7, cool. Yeah, you open up the suitcase and you see all these clothes sort of bundled in there, nothing laid out nicely. Which is, I feel like it's kind of what you were expecting to find. Just a lot of mess. Just clothes that are just thrown in. Other than that, not really anything there. There's £2 notes stuffed down the side in a sort of a side pockety type thing that you find. Other than that, not much.
19.
Cool. You open up yours, and
Guns.
now we have to edit that out so I can do my big reveal. So you open up yours, and strapped to the back is 2 large pistols, and a sort of ceremonial knife that are all accessible if you lift up the top half of the case. Inside is neatly folded clothes, trousers, suits, shirts, a couple of neckties, a small box that by the smell of it probably contains gunpowder and little shots. Other than that, it's just not much. They're just travel bags for clothes.
Okay.
While you're all going through, the Viscount appears as well. It's all arrived. Wonderful. Are you seeing anything that's shedding light on this?
Not particularly, no.
You mentioned there were papers.
Yes. Here, and he moves over and gets a crowbar that was sort of leaning up against the wall and goes to one of the smaller crates and sort of sticks it in. Just should make him make a strength check. Hold on. Let me get one of my men to help me. It's a little tougher. They must have nailed that one down a little hard.
Can I walk over and try and do it?
Yeah. Well, he rolled a 2.
Nice. 21.
Yeah, cool. It just pops right off. Just like you push it down, the lid goes, and like the pressure of it pops it open.
Oh,
I must have loosened it for you.
I thought it would be difficult. Sorry.
Yes,
The papers.
Yes. Looks like this is the one. And inside, Yeah, there's some books, some loose papers. What have I done?
Funny, innit?
Okay. Books, papers, various just little bits that they obviously cleared off the desk that was in there and just popped in. So you're welcome to look through those.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So the books are the ones that were mentioned. So there was the astronomy book. You open it up and you can see that it's got Gilbert's name penciled in there with a note on a couple of dates of alignments of planets written on the front, and those dates were a few weeks ago. And he was there's a question mark there saying Royal Observatory. It looks like he made some notes, like he wanted to check out this alignment of some planetary bodies that would interest him, and trying to see if he could maybe watch them at the Royal Observatory. What was the other book? I've forgotten.
The History of the British Isles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Very old book. Very delicate. You don't really look for it too much because you're worried. Like just looking out here and stuff, just your bare hands. You don't want to damage it too much, and you know how to care for books, so you just sort of put that one aside. And you think that's probably Gilbert's book as well. It looks like one that you've seen at home, that he hasn't really let you read because it's delicate. It's old. It's a genuine copy of a very old book. But yeah, you think you've seen that one before. The papers, like the Viscount said, lots of notes visiting various places in London, a few little maps of here and there. Obviously, getting directions to places they haven't been to before. There's a sort of very rough sketch of, you can make out that's the River Thames on one of the maps, and above it is a sort of a few different roads that have been named out. You can see the main road travelling on this map says Ratcliffe Street, and there's a few little buildings marked out on it with some X's on them and stuff like that. So see, this is a handmade map, if I'm not describing it correctly. Probably by the hand. Make an investigation check.
All of us.
Yeah.
Natural 20. Which makes it
13.
21.
Okay, well, with a natural 20, you recognise that this is your father's handwriting for all the maps.
Have I ever seen him make maps and sketches like that before? Like, is that something that I know he does?
I mean, these aren't good maps.
No, yeah, okay.
These are...
It's just notes.
These are no more than if you or I made a map.
Okay.
They're literally just like, oh, yeah, this is where you want to go, you want to look at this, and it's a rough map. These aren't the sort of maps you would get from a proper mappeteer.
A cartographer.
Yeah. How dare you speak to me?
My great granddad was a cartographer.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
So one you get the idea is this Ratcliffe Street one. It marks there's like 4 different buildings with some X's on them, on some street corners, just some street names, and you're sure that if you were looking at you'd be able to work out what that means if you were there. Anyway.
Okay. What's in the other boxes?
Well, let's find out. He gets the crowbar again. There's a slightly larger box. It's narrow and long. He gets stuck on it, and as he pushes down, he's like, Oh my goodness! I think I've.
Are you quite alright?
Perhaps you should go in and get some rest. Perhaps you should leave us to it.
Yes, I think middle age is starting to hit me just a little.
I'm sure.
Yes, I better rest my back before the opera. I'm terribly sorry, ladies, but please keep me informed if you find anything. If you need my help, if you need me to send out any messages or anything, just yes. I think I'm just going to go and lie in the sunroom if that's quite all right by you. And
Yes,
While
I do
he's-
hope you're okay.
While he's speaking, can I attempt to open the crate?
yeah, sure.
Because I want him to see if I do open it. With an 8, I probably didn't.
No, you didn't either. So you're just like, next to him. I was like, yes, they apparently nailed this one down tight. My goodness. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to...
It's quite all right. I know how veterans' bodies are. It's no trouble.
Yes, yes. War wounds. I'm going to lay down in the sunroom. I'll be there if you need me.
Of course.
And he sort of, hobbles off to back down the garden, clearly having twinged his back.
Is all of our dad's stuff now in?
Yes.
Are there any servants in with us?
No.
Cool.
They've been and gone.
I guess I'll attempt to open the crate again then.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 1.
Wow. Yeah, you're pushing on the crowbar and you get like a little splinter of metal run across your hand and you stop because it hurts.
Okay. Perhaps we can come back to that one later.
Perhaps, yes.
I'm sure you've loosened it a little.
Unless, of course, one of you would like to try.
I can give it a go. I've got +0 for strength.
Go on, Agatha.
Alright, I'm going to give it a go. 12.
Yeah, opens. It's like, it takes you a couple of goes, but each go goes...
You got the angles right.
I got
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done, Agatha.
Wow.
Perhaps I need to learn your tactics.
What is in the crate?
Okay, in the crate is some other boxes and satchels and sort of travel belongings. Yeah, so it's been sort of stuffed with straw to hold everything in place. There's a little sort of blackened metal lockbox in there, and some of their boots are in there. They obviously didn't want to stuff the boots into one of the smaller ones, so just travel shoes. What else? Just various odds and ends, I guess. The point is the little black box.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I take it out and look over it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's quite heavy, possibly lead and iron. It's been blackened. It's got a sort of ornate carving around it and a little keyhole. And it's locked. And do you shake it?
Yeah.
Okay, you shake it and things rattle around inside it.
Is the rattle a familiar noise? Like, does it sound like coins or?
Does it sound like lots of things or just like one thing shaking?
Sounds like lots of things the more you shake it.
Okay.
I don't shake it that much.
Okay. Can we look around for a key specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the symbol mean anything?
The engravings are more patterns, they're not symbols. So it's
Right.
like kind of Celtic wavy lines.
Okay.
Make a investigation check.
All of us?
Natural 20.
Whoa.
Sure. Okay. You find in one of the pants pockets of your dad's a small metal key on a small chain.
This might be right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it fits.
Nice.
It unlocks.
What's inside?
You're gonna open it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you opening it or am I opening it? I'm holding it.
Okay, you can open it.
Okay. When you open it, you hear how do I describe this? I guess a sort of otherworldly scream. As a sort of almost wind passes your face, blows your hair back, and this sort of scream echoes out of the box.
I very quickly grabbed the lid and put it back on.
Did
I
we
mean, the
just
sound's
open...
been and gone.
Oh, it's like a short thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like constantly screaming.
Did
No.
we just open Pandora's box? What the fuck?
And that, okay, that's all.
So it was just a windows. And is there anything inside the box?
It's empty.
What just happened?
What was that?
Guess we'll find out next week.
What? No!
Yeah.
Summon.